What's going on, everybody? My apologies for my tardiness. Y'all come on in here. Come on in here and hit that like button. Happy Saturday to all of you all. Hope you guys are doing okay. Hope everything is well. I was gonna go live last night and do a Tiffany Henya video because super stupid is something else. But y'all just needed to rest, and I hung out with my son, watching videos with him, and got the chance to check out Kogo's videos, his mini series he has done on malware and her whole evolution of lie about this dumb chick that she did not need to make up. Oh my god. So good. Kudos to Kogo and Miss Kogo for a well done mini series. Well done. And thank you for putting that together. Y'all come on in here. We got some stuff to go over. As you all can see, I have a fantastic lineup this weekend. Did not get the chance and with Johnny Walker Dread to go live with him. Like I said, that has been postponed. And so I haven't checked my email yet to see what time Sunday or tomorrow he wants to collab, but we will work that out. In the meantime, you all come in and hit that like button. Okay. Hit that like button. Tonight we will be going live on Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. And we will be checking out Rim's videos on this. Oh, the evolution of the lie with the check and all that. Based on their live stream, his live stream, where both malware and the other one showed up and tried to make excuses. Here's why I'm doing this. Because I don't like people using the law to try to take down videos and content on a public platform where they're mad that people are using their words against them. Everybody doesn't have to agree with me. I don't strike videos because of it. It's stupid as hell. And you're misusing and abusing laws to do it. And trying to get people's personal information. Because, I mean, who does that? I have not sent any copyright strike against malware videos or the other one at all. Because I don't believe in squashing free speech. If anything, I'm going to let you run your mouth. And if I have to take action, your words will be used against you in a court of law. So why would I silence you by having you take down videos? That's not a smart move. Yeah, there goes the she who knows the law has the power. I don't want you to take down your videos. I want you to keep that shit up. That way I can get what I need. But, they're not smart enough to think on that level. And so we're going to revisit that on the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea and have a good time. So y'all make sure you come tonight with whatever the selection of wine you want and your popcorn or Veal Reckenbacher. I don't care which popcorn you like. Bring your popcorn and your wine. And we're going to have a good time. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. And we're going to get to it. Before we do, I just want to make sure you all know what the channel is. Here you go. Y'all, this is the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. Make sure you are subbed. We will not be streaming on the LLC tonight, going over Rim's videos. No, we're going to just be strictly on the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. Because there, I can be as savage as I want. Over here, I try to keep it a little culture. Keep things kosher a little bit. Keep it classy and grown up. Where I have my true independent journalism at play here. No, over there, we get messy and fun. Oh, what's going on to you all? How you doing? Y'all come on in here. Shout out to you, Francisca. How you doing, honey? Shout out to my mods. What's going on? I apologize for being late. Ooh, I'm super, super late. Good Lord. I am so sorry. We are here let's see here. So you guys make sure you're subbed. Make sure you are subbed here. This is the Lady Luck Clip Sweet Tea, and as you all can see, here is the live that we will be having. So make sure you guys have your notification turned on. So you guys can be in on that. Let me put this in the chat. It is nice outside. So I hope you guys get out and enjoy yourselves. Y'all hit that like button. All right, let's get to this. There's the second channel link there. So tune in, tune in, tune in. Let's go. Okay. So we're going to check out a few videos from Panda Press. He has excellent content that he has done on Umar the Oompa Loompa. And it's long 15. This is going back to 2013. This is going back to 2013. And I think that he's been at this whole I'm opening a school a little bit longer than that. But you're talking about a good 14 years of him conning and taking money from the community in an effort to so-called open a school, one of which he can't do because the city of Wilmington did a inspection from a fire that occurred in that bando and said that this building was deemed unsafe and not fit for human habitation. And yet he's been raising money and misleading the public as if he's going to open it and convert it to a high school, knowing damn well he's not. Now, you would think he would be smart enough to just give it back to the city, but then there goes his hustle. That's what the scam is all about. It's forever fundraising. Next year, something stupid is going to happen. He's going to say something dumb, and then it's going to be another delay. Because once it opens, then he can't keep saying, I'm raising money to open it. That he realized he could do for over 14 years. Once you open it, now you got to find a way to generate revenue to pay teachers and staff, to pay for expenses for the building. So you got to pay those utilities, that pesky water bill he doesn't want to pay. You still got to do all of that. And he doesn't want to. So he's not going to be able to keep that thing up and running. It will not pass inspection. It doesn't have any insurance on the bando. And you're talking about these kids walking into that environment. And that's disgusting to me. So we're going to check out Panda Press. And we have about 4 videos we're going to hit back to back to back. So we're going to get to it. Y'all make sure you guys hit that like button as you come in. Everybody speak to everybody. How you doing, Saint? What's going on? Shout out to my mods, you all. Y'all make sure you guys check out Kogo YouTube channel. 4 good videos in the mini series about the evolution of the lie of malware and that check. Fantastic. Well done. And I have seen all 4 videos and was honored to be in one of them. I'm so honored. You guys have no idea how that warms my heart for you all to think of me that way. So I appreciate you all and definitely support the fantastic work he did on those mini series. Let's get to it when you guys can see and hear. Hit the 4. Hit a 4.
2015, 2 years. My school will open. And Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Africanization. We're going to have an aviation academy. We're going to teach your sons and your daughters how to fly airplanes.
13 years, an amount he has never fully accounted for. And the question nobody has fully answered yet is a simple one. What exactly did the community pay for? Not what date he said it would open or what excuses came after. What was the actual vision he was selling when he asked for the money?
I wish I knew, Robin. I wish I knew.
Before we get into it, real quick, for the people in the comments telling me to stop making videos about Umar, you clicked. You are here right now, which means either you want the answer or you genuinely cannot help yourself. Either way, I appreciate you. And to answer your question, the day he stops all this foolishness is the day I stop. Until then, we work.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Now, let us find out what they actually paid for. Before we get into the list, I need you to understand something. Because if you go into this thinking he was just trying to build a school and kept falling short, you are going to miss the whole point. The BS went further than that. He was not selling a school. He was selling a civilization. Those aren't the same thing. A school has classrooms and teachers and children. A civilization has its own economy, its own government, its own airport, its own river. And hold that word, civilization, because every single item we are about to go through was announced publicly, in his own words, on his own platforms, to his own supporters. This was not a rumor or speculation. This was the pitch. Feel the full weight of that word before we get to the list, because the list only lands the way it should if you understand what he told people they were buying into. This was not a school fundraiser. This was a civilization fundraiser, and the community paid for it line item by line item for 13 years. Yet I'm the one getting bombarded for just talking about it. Make it make sense. All right, here's the list, and I'm going to read it straight. No commentary between items, because the items speak for themselves. On March 26, 2014, Dr. Umar Johnson posted the full vision for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy on his Facebook page. His own post, public record, a hospital, a health center, a zoo, a farm, a greenhouse, a community center, athletic facilities, a baseball stadium, a track and field facility, an engineering and architectural building, a political government building, a military building.
Y'all, I want y'all to take a look at this. What's going on, Sasha Love? What's going on, the goddess? How you doing? Y'all come on in here and hit that damn like button. I appreciate you all for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday. I want y'all to see this right here. Let me take myself off. See, the Oompa Loompa refuses to get a regular job. He's one of those pipe dreamers. Like, if you let him, he can sell you water from the Pacific Ocean or a bridge, something he doesn't own, and then have you think it's the best purchase you've ever made in your entire life. That is the characteristics of a true snake oil salesman. He's making all of these promises to deliver something he's not qualified, equipped, educated, financed, smart enough, or intelligent enough to do. But see, this is how he gets people hooked, because he actually has these Umartardians believing, his dumbass cult, that he can deliver these things, and they don't ask questions as to how. Like, asking a question is going to break their brain. They never say, okay, how are you going to do that? Who do you have on your team, your board, that can actually help implement these things? Because you're just throwing smoke out there. And you all notice over the years, he goes from one thing to another in a conversation. We're going to have a dance and a block party. I can't wait until we open up the sector where we can have, a basketball tournament. What y'all think about a basketball tournament? Hit the cash up in the PayPal for a basketball tournament. Y'all, we're going to have a whole ballroom dance where it's going to be just laced with black and red and green for the diaspora. Hit the cash up in the PayPal for that ballroom gala where it's going to be all black, red, and green. Like, he just throws out dumb shit every single time he goes live and talks about how he's going to do something that's so beyond the scope and realm of possibilities. He knows it's unattainable and it's not plausible, but he doesn't care. Just like with this $500 date scam thing. The romance scam he perpetuated in everybody's faces, but no one wanted to call it a romance scam but me. Because it's a damn romance scam. That you had women falling for that shit. They actually gave him $500 thinking that they were going to be able to go on a date somewhere with this idiot while he picks you up from a hotel You can't bring your phone. Get this. You have to be blindfolded. And then the driver is going to take you to some undisclosed location for a very lit, like a dim lit dinner at some place you have no idea where you are. And he wanted people to give him $500 for that bullshit. The worst part is you had a few women out here that actually did it. To those dumbass women that gave him $500 for that romance scam, did you get your dinner date? Was it inside the bigger gym or the smaller gym? Which one? Because, you know, he can't afford to really take you anywhere else. He didn't care if these women were married and none of that. These are the things that he does that are so far-fetched. It's to the point where it's just comical. The romance scam thing could be borderline illegal. But yet, he has been doing this for 14 years. Let me be so audacious with this BS to where people actually think this could be legitimate. And with enough money and me just running my mouth, not having professionals around me to help get this done, no, just me yapping. This is going to become a realization for all black boys everywhere. How? Y'all, this is the crazy nonsense that he does every time he goes live. It's always something. We checked the replay. Remember when he was going over all the lists of classes, the courses that he was going to have offered? He had astrological science and physics on there, all sorts of mathematics. And I'm like, what? Where's he going to get the teachers that are certified and qualified to even teach those subjects? I mean, are you kidding me? Astrological physics? Like he had a whole whiteboard full of classes that are just, I'm like, there's no person that he knows that can teach quantum physics. He can't. But yet, he was going to just teach history. Not history and civics and, you know, anything. No, just history. You can't be the director and the teacher at the same time. Because somebody's got to be the director. And according to the tax documents, you know, that he keeps having someone file for FDMG LLC. Yeah, according to those tax documents that anyone can look up, they're public information. Since FDMG is a 501c3, you can pull up the tax documents. He lists himself as a director. You cannot be the director and a teacher at the same time, especially when you're not even giving yourself a salary as a director. So how's that going to go? But yet and still, this is all the crap that he keeps telling people he's going to do. And he's been saying this for over a decade. This stuff is so unrealistic, it's not even funny. Even LeBron James had to have a team, and he's a multi-millionaire. Oompa Loompa can't do half this shit. He's not even smart enough to get people around him that actually are certified to help lay this blueprint out and to do any of this stuff. Yeah, but keep at it, Oompa Loompa. Keep dreaming.
A music and theater production studio, dormitories, 7 of them, massive ones, shit. An elementary school and a high school, both residential, a girls' academy, the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Academy, a Pan-African school district, everywhere black people are, and then an aviation academy.
Huh?
His exact words from the World Beat Center in 2013, "We will have an aviation academy. We will teach your sons and your daughters how to fly airplanes."
August the 21st of 2015, 2 years, my school will open. Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Africanization Academy. We're going to have an aviation academy. We're going to teach your sons and your daughters how to fly airplanes.
Hey, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
A farm with black pigs, a helicopter landing pad, an airstrip for the airplanes, an air traffic control tower, 2 aircraft bays, an airport runway, and a man-made river shaped like Africa, surrounding the entire 500-acre campus. And that is before we get to the city. Because once the school was up and running, he said the parents and teachers would build houses on the land. And once they were all living there, they would need a gas station, a supermarket, a daycare, a fire department, and a police department. His exact words, which means at some point, we would have to incorporate into our own city, a city with its own government, funded by the same PayPal.
Yeah, no, and that will never happen. Let me explain something to you, Umar the Oompa Loompa, and to all the Umar Tardians listening. That is called a takeover. We're not in the mood for that bullshit. We, the United States of America, do not condone terrorism, both foreign or domestic. And we're not playing these dumbass games with your stupid ass and let you think that you're going to actually take over any portions of the United States of America with your dumb coat. Why can't he just take his damn coat and go buy some land in another country, build his own compound, and leave the rest of us alone? That's called a takeover. You're trying to infiltrate our government with your own government. Get the hell out of here. Go start your government somewhere else. We will not allow that as a nation. Do you understand? That's not how that works. Y'all. Oh, Lord have mercy. I won't even defile the name Wakanda with this, but imagine it, Oompa Land. Being created inside of the United States of America. You can't make this shit up. The nation of Oompa Land. Well, you're going to start seeing little men that look like orange pumpkins and green hair, carrying bags of sugar and salt. Oompa, doompa, doopa dee dee. Trying to build a hut. It's like, get the hell out of here. Yeah, that's a takeover. It wasn't create a government inside of our government. Get your ass out of here.
He has been running since 2013.
They sold 300 acres of the farmland without me even knowing. And I wanted to use that so we can manufacture a Black Wall Street situation. Because the way I saw it, all the parents of the children would build houses there. All the teachers would build houses there. And if you got all of y'all, let's say y'all the staff and parents of the school, y'all all living on this 500 acres that we developed, we're going to need a gas station that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a supermarket that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a daycare. We're going to need a cleaners.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Sooner or later, we're going to need a fire department and we're going to need a police department, which means at some point we would have to do what? Incorporate into our own city.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
Now let us talk about the dates. Because this is a separate indictment from the promise list. The promise list is about what he said he would build. This is about how many times he said it would be ready. Brother Lennon Honor, shout out to him, has been documenting Umar Johnson's timeline for years. Every date change, every recording, every broken promise. His work is meticulous, and his receipts are primary source. What he built confirms exactly what I've been saying. The receipts were always there. Here is what Lennon Honor documented. September 11th, 2013, August 21st, 2015, then September 2016, then May 2018, August 21st, 2018, August 21st, 2019, August 2020, then summer 2021, fall 2021, fall 2022, September 2022, fall 2023, then February 2023, December 2023, January 2024, February 2024, August 2025, then February 2025, then September 2025, and then, most recently, September 2026.
You're showing me how unserious you are.
At least 25 documented date changes across 13 years. Now, here's the part that matters. Every single time the date changed, a new donation push followed. Every extension of the timeline was an extension of the fundraising window. The date was never the point. The PayPal link was always the point. And if you think that is a coincidence, the pattern has been consistent since the very first date change in 2013. Change the date, push the PayPal. Change the date, push the PayPal. 25 times. That is not a pattern of delays. That is a business model. Now let us talk about the money, because this is where the promise list and the opening date graveyard converge into one question. In 2017, Dr. Umar Johnson sat down with Roland Martin, and Roland Martin asked him directly, how much money has been raised? His exact answer, $700,000. And the status is, we are still looking for a school. $700,000 raised, still looking for a school in 2017. That is the confirmed number from his own mouth in a documented interview.
You talked about taking over the buildings or the land of a black school that was shut down.
Yes, sir.
HBCU
St. Paul's College.
And you were raising money for it. First of all, how much money has been raised, and what's the status of that project?
Well, St. Paul's has been sold. Approximately 3 to 5 months ago, I was told by the auction company in charge of the sale that it was been sold to a developer.
So how much money was raised? What the people gave? All kinds of people gave. How much was raised, and what's the status of that?
$700,000, and the status is we're still looking for a school. And the status is my start date for FDMG will be 8/21/18, or if at all, it may be delayed to 8/21/19.
God have mercy upon us.
So I want y'all to think about this. K-12 management purchased both bandos, which is on the city's website. Shout out to Lynn and Honor. I also have a copy of the deed. Umar did not put a damn dime towards the purchases of those bandos. K-12 management bought the bandos themselves. Well over $1 million. So he still did not have enough. So the question is, Umar, because this is how math works, if K-12 management purchased the bandos and you raised $700,000, you didn't have to spend a dime on buying the bandos. What did you do with all that fucking money? This is why he won't show receipts. And yet you have this conscious community that won't sue him to try to at least get some discovery out of his ass. It's too hard for them to think about suing him so that they can actually get discovery under a court order to see how that money was spent when K-12 management bought the bandos. Even if the title was transferred over to Oompa Loompa, it was for what, $10? That's still not $700,000. So someone tell me, how is it that if you have $700,000 and yet a company comes in and buys your house for you, and they buy your house for $2 million, you didn't have to give up that $700,000, nor have you shown any evidence that you utilized that $700,000 towards the purchase of your own house. And the only thing that people can see is a transfer of title for $10. Don't you think people are going to ask you, okay, so what did you do with the $700,000? How do we know that you gave the money to K-12 management? We don't have any evidence of that. Where the transaction showing that you've paid them back anything? Is there a contract in place with repayment terms on it? Where is that documentation? That's the issue here. He has not yet shown any evidence of how he took that $700,000 and put it towards the acquisition of these two bandos. Not one transaction, not one receipt, nothing. And the only thing we've been able to see between the city's website and the deed itself is a $10 transfer fee, not $700,000 damn dollars. And anyone that tries to tell me, you know, a person with a brain, he's paying back K-12 management, where is the receipt? Where are the proof? Where's the contract with the repayment terms? How is he giving them this money? Why can't he post that shit up? How do we know he's paying them back? We haven't seen any evidence of it. Does that make sense? So until we see evidence of it, he's either sitting on 700 grand or he spent it on himself and on other dumbass things, God knows what, because he refuses to show receipts. And the Umar Tardians are too scared, because they have no spine, to ask him, can you post up receipts on this? We need irrefutable proof that you put 700 grand towards the repayment of these buildings back to Stride Inc. Now they're called Stride Inc. Or K-12 Management Stride Inc. Because it wouldn't go to a bank, because a bank did not finance it, because K-12 Management bought them. They were purchased in full. So there is no financing with a bank. So where's the receipts that he utilized 700 grand to go towards these bandos? Where is it? I want to see that. Until I see that evidence, he bought nothing. And he hemorrhaged. He hemorrhaged. And when I say hemorrhaged, I mean hemorrhaged. 700 grand plus some. Or he's sitting on it. And I highly doubt, you know, his appetite will allow him to do that, you know, because Little Debbie snack cakes and sticky buns are not cheap. Umar, you can kiss my ass. Show the evidence of how you spent that $700,000. You got all these donors that don't want to sue him to get that discovery. Your Honor, we believe that he should be forced to present evidence to this court and to us as the donors to show how the money was spent on acquiring these bandos. He said he raised 700 grand. Then he said it was 500,000. He's given up various amounts in the video evidence that we have ready to present to the court. And yet, not one transaction, not one contract, not one written agreement with him and K-12 or Stride Inc. to show any repayment terms of any loans or anything. We don't know if he's paying these people back. We haven't seen any transactions. We haven't seen any expense reports, any receipts, nothing. We don't know how he's spending that money. And until he does, he's stolen it, and we demand transparency with it, or he needs to give us our money back. Forget the damn tour. And people think, I mean, when I say this, you know, he owns something. He's not even listed as the principal agent of FDMG, the LLC itself. You know, the limited liability corporation. That comes with its own registration. If he's not the registered agent on that LLC, then what the hell does he own? Someone has to be listed as the principal agent of FDMG, the LLC. Does that make sense? You have to register that LLC. He's not it. So how is he the owner? Where are these documents at? You can't make this shit up. I just want y'all to understand. Umar has spent $700,000 doing what the hell he wanted to do. Maybe he did buy a home in Ghana, but he didn't buy any bandos for a school in the United States either. And he has yet to produce any evidence, receipts, or proof of transactions that he's paying back K-12 or Stride Inc. a damn penny. You know, in the words of malware, a coin.
But that is not the full picture. Lennon Honor spent years cross-referencing IRS filings, Cash App records, PayPal donation periods, and Umar Johnson's own public statements about how much he was raising per year. His documented estimate puts the total raised at bare minimum $2 million across the full fundraising period. That is Lennon Honor's estimate based on the available documentation. Not a confirmed figure, but a documented one. Now hold both of those numbers against what exists. In August of 2020,
let's go back and hear that number again. Shout out to all of you all tuning in. I'm just trying to say hello to you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and hit that like button as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea, because we're going to be going over, Rim's videos on malware and the other one, lying about the check thing. This is why I'm not in the mood for them to be lying like hell on Oompa Loompa when he's bad by himself. You can't say
period. That is
that you're aiding and taking him down if you got to lie on him about stupid things that don't exist. Isn't it bad enough that he's not presenting any transactions on how he spent $700,000 or 1.2 mil or whatever he's raised over 14 years? That's bad enough. Especially when you don't want to sue him. Why make up a lie to make it seem like you're trying to take him down? You could just file a lawsuit and take him down. That would be the easiest thing to do. They don't want to do that because they're scared of his ass. Can't make this up.
Lennon Honor's estimate based on the available documentation. Not a confirmed figure, but a documented one. Now hold both of those numbers against what exists. In August of 2025, the FDMG building in Wilmington faced a sheriff sale because of unpaid vacant property registration fees and outstanding utility bills. The city posted the notice directly on the building. He found out when someone sent him a photo. A building with no students, no certificate of occupancy, no accredited school program could not pay its own bills. And his response was to run an emergency donation drive to stop the auction. The same PayPal link that has been running since 2013 was the only thing standing between the chosen ones and a sheriff's gavel. Do you understand, my African brothers and sisters? Do you understand, my African brothers and sisters? $700,000 confirmed, $2 million estimated, and the building almost went to auction for an unpaid utility bill. The question of where the money went is one this video is not going to answer, but it is the only question left standing after you hear those numbers together.
And the Delaware building was not even the full picture, because while he was asking for money to renovate a building in Wilmington that could not pay its own utility bills, he also announced that he had been given 50 acres of land in Ghana. His exact words in a documented interview: "I was given 50 acres of land in Ghana. I want to build an FDMG on the continent. I want to replicate what we are doing in Wilmington, Delaware, in West Africa. So I want to build an FDMG on the continent, an FDMG here in Delaware. And then we can have an exchange program and the children can go back and forth."
Was given 50 acres of land in Ghana, and I want to replicate what we're doing in Wilmington, Delaware, in West Africa. So I want to build an FDMG on the continent, an FDMG here, which is Delaware, and then we can have an exchange program and the children can go back and forth. So can the teachers do that? So everything I'm doing in America, I want to also do in Africa, because it's Pan-Africanist. We don't believe that you ignore your domestic struggle.
What do you mean go back and forth? Go back and forth where? Between U.S. and Ghana? I mean, this has got to be the dumbest thing ever. Go back and forth where? Umar, when you leave the United States, we don't want you to come back. We want you to take your dumb ass on somewhere and go sit down and have 1,000 seats. You and all your little Debbie snack cakes and your ginger ales. Get the hell on. Why don't you pull this stunt out in Ghana and leave the U.S. out of it? That's a better idea. What do you mean go back and forth? Is he for real? Oh, God.
I still have an obligation to my people here, but I also see the larger struggle, and that is doing what we need to do for ourselves permanently on the continent. Because anything you build here, they can take it.
Yes.
Once FDMG is up and running, I'm going to automatically have to start thinking about how long before I need to repatriate to the continent. Because if my school does what it is born to do, and it will, I'm going to be too much of a threat. Just like with Black Wall Street. You got to know how long you got on your lease before you get the.
You're not a threat when you're not generating revenue like that. I want y'all to think about this. Umar has been living off of everybody for 14 years. Anyone that's willing to give his ass some money. He doesn't understand the art of being able to generate revenue to where you're a threat. Don't nobody give a shit about him. No one cares about the Oompa Loompa on Wall Street. They don't even take his dumb ass seriously. You're not a threat. He acts like he's Bernie Madoff or something. I mean, we get you running a pyramid scheme and all, but it's not a profitable one. This is the same man that's scared to open a bando into a school because he knows that he can't keep fundraising off of the idea of opening one. Now he's going to have to make it a reality and find another way to bring in money to pay teacher staffs and for expenses. When a court has to order you to pay a water and sewage bill. Now imagine the power bill, the water bill, the food, all of that it is going to take just to keep the building functional and operating, plus insurance. Because you got to insure the building. He doesn't even want to get a permit for an inspection. He wants to lie about that and play the victim like a big ass child throwing a tantrum. And he thinks somebody in Wall Street is supposed to be scared of him. They don't even know who you are. This is crazy.
Hell out of Dodge.
The Delaware building does not have a certificate of occupancy. The Ghana campus does not exist. The exchange program was never mentioned again after that interview, but the PayPal link kept running. See, this is what makes the Ghana promise different from everything else on the list. The 500-acre campus and the airport runway and the man-made river shaped like Africa were all announced together in 2014 as a long-term vision. You could argue those were aspirational, a reach goal, something he planned to build toward over decades. The Ghana campus was announced after the Delaware building was already purchased, after the fundraising was already running, after the community had already been giving for years. He did not just promise a civilization on one continent, he promised one on two, and the PayPal link worked in both countries. All right, let us do the audit. 2 lists, side by side. What he promised: a hospital, a health center, a zoo, a farm with black pigs, a greenhouse, a community center, an aviation academy where boys learn to fly airplanes, a helicopter landing pad, an airstrip, an air traffic control tower, 2 aircraft bays, airport runway, a man-made river shaped like Africa surrounding a 500-acre campus, a girls' academy, a Pan-African school district everywhere black people are, a city with its own gas station, supermarket, fire department, and police department, a second campus on 50 acres in Ghana, an exchange program between Delaware and West Africa, a diploma for every graduate. Now, what exists? Clean desks and 2 whiteboards. At least that's all he showed on his recent IG Live. By the way, y'all should follow me on IG at RealPThePanda. But yeah, that is the audit. That is the full picture. And I'm not going to tell you what it means. You are already standing in the only place those 2 lists lead. Before we go any further, I want to say something directly to the people who donated, because they were not foolish. They were targeted. There is a difference between being fooled and being targeted. Being fooled means you missed something obvious. Being targeted means someone deliberately used the thing you love most as the mechanism to take from you. The language he used was not accidental. Black boys, chosen ones, liberation, civilization, independent black institution. Every word in that pitch was chosen because it made skepticism feel like racial betrayal. Because if you question the receipts, you were questioning the movement. If you asked where the money went, you were working for the enemy. If you demanded accountability, you were a struggle streamer, a YouTubian, a coon. That is not a fundraising strategy. That is a trap, built from the language of black liberation and designed to make the door impossible to find from the inside. The people who gave...
I will say this. I agree partially with that. You have people like this Mark Lamont clown that still can't grow a spine. Grown ass men simping for Umar, the Oompa Loompa, that are still giving him money, knowing damn well he will not open it. Now, this is according to, is it in his name Mark? Is it Mark Heel or something? Mark Heel, whatever. The clown. I've done a video on him. Said that he actually had given the Oompa Loompa some money when he claimed that his accounts were frozen when he didn't even provide any evidence of that at all. Not one bit. But why would you give him money if he's claiming that his accounts are frozen? He can't even prove to you that he has accounts. I thought he didn't like dealing with banks or having a paper trail. But he'll have a Cash App and a PayPal. How do you all know those accounts are even in his name? The Cash App and the PayPal are both under FDMG. It's not like part of the Cash App or the PayPal has his name in it. Both have FDMG in it, though. So when you can't show proof that your personal bank account was frozen, when you don't even have a Cash App or a PayPal that's in your personal name or your initials or anything. These are both related to the school now. But you spending money coming from where now? Because you don't have a job. How are you able to go and buy Cinnabons or a meal? You don't have a job. How are you able to buy shoes and clothes? See, they don't think about this stuff. I'm not worried about the flights and hotels when he's traveling and you got these idiots still sponsoring him to come out and speak and run his mouth just to say the same thing over and over again. But who's buying those clothes and shoes? That's not part of the deal. Who's buying those meals when he's not traveling, when he's at home, when he's supposed to be caring for his mother as her main caretaker? Who's paying for that? He doesn't have a job, and he doesn't have a personal Cash App or PayPal. He just has the two he talks about with FDMG. But he said that his personal account was frozen. What the hell does this got to do with everybody else? But you got people out here that are still giving him money, knowing that it's been 14 years and he has not opened one school on earth in the United States of America. In Delaware, in Philadelphia, pick a state, he doesn't have one. And then you have people like Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club making it seem like it's coming, blah, 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 just egging him on with this BS. You have people that are still giving him money and they're proud of giving him their rent money. And they don't care that he has not delivered anything or that he has not produced receipts, because cult members don't give a crap. They just do what they're commanded to do. They want to fit into the cult. They want to feel like they belong. They don't challenge or question him, none of that. And if they try, guess what he does? He blocks them because he's a coward and he can't answer questions or present evidence. A whole conscious community where you got a bunch of overgrown men. Father Baba Yaga looked like he's all of 214 years old. And he's still kissing Umar's ass. These are the type of leaders that you have that could put him in check that refuse to do it. And they're still encouraging people to give money to Umar. You have people that are still willfully doing it. And they know he has not presented anything. Well, it's coming. You can't tear a black, then they, go to the dumbass excuse of you can't tear a black man down. No, but we can stop a black man from taking advantage of other black people. Especially when you're sitting here saying that you've gathered up, 2 million and you can't produce one receipt? when you know you didn't buy those bandos at all. And we can see on the city's website, for those who know how to read, that he did not purchase a damn thing. We can see that on the city's website and on the deed. That's not hard to read. So you have some that could be targeted, but you do have people that are still willfully giving up their grit money, their weave and hair money, bill money. And they're not even interested in suing him and try to get their money back. Getting discovery, getting receipts. They don't care about none of that. Because, they're a cult. And they have this hive mentality and they don't think for themselves. So it's not all of them. Some of them are. Some of them are targeted. Some of them are just bamboozled and brainwashed. It's that simple.
They were not gullible. They were given a pitch that was specifically engineered to make doubt feel like betrayal. And that engineering did not happen by accident. He knew exactly what he was doing. Now, the people attacking those exposing him, like me, and the ones that keep donating.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
And after all of that engineering, the money is still unaccounted for. The question that nobody has fully answered, the one I'm not going to answer either, is where did the money go?
Shit, I don't even know. I can't even tell you that.
Over $700,000 confirmed from his own mouth. At least $2 million estimated from documented research. No zoo.
I've never seen it.
No hospital.
I've never seen it.
No airport.
I've never seen it.
No river.
I've never seen it.
No Ghana campus.
I've never seen it.
No accredited diploma.
I've never seen it.
No students.
I've never seen it.
No certificate of occupancy.
I've never seen it.
No itemized financial accounting.
I've never seen it.
No audited statements.
So that was a lie.
The money was raised. He confirmed that himself. Where it went is the question the community deserves an answer to, and nobody has given them one. Stop for a second, because I want to go back to the word we started with, civilization. That word did not slip out. He did not say it once in an excited moment and walk it back. He built an entire fundraising architecture around it. The 500-acre campus, the airport, the river, the city with its own government, the Ghana campus, the exchange program, the girls' academy, the school district, everywhere Black people are. When you sell someone a civilization, you are asking them to believe in something so large and so complex that no single person can fully picture it. And when something cannot be fully pictured, it cannot be fully audited. The scope becomes the shield. That is not ambition. That is architecture. He did not dream too big. He sold too big. 13 years, at least 25 date changes, an amount that has never been fully accounted for, and a civilization that exists nowhere except in the receipts he created with his own mouth. Black boys, chosen ones, civilization, liberation, independent Black institution. That language was chosen because it made the people who gave feel like they were not just donating to a school. They were investing in the survival of their community. And when you are investing in the survival of your community, asking for receipts does not feel like due diligence. It feels like doubt, and doubt feels like betrayal. That is the mechanism. That is how 13 years happened. That is how the PayPal link kept running while the building sat empty and the dates kept changing and the civilization stayed exactly where it started, in the pitch. The wild part is the receipts were never hidden. The 500-acre campus was on his Facebook page. The Aviation Academy was announced at a public event. The opening dates were posted publicly each time they changed. The Roland Martin interview is on YouTube. The podcast admission is on record. The sheriff's sale notice was posted on the building itself. Everything we covered today came from his own mouth, his own posts, his own platforms, his own supporters in the room when he said it. So the question I want to leave you with is not about Umar Johnson. It is about the next one, because there will be a next one for sure. There is always a next one. Someone with the right language and the right vision and the right PayPal link who understands that the bigger the dream, the harder it is to audit. What does the community decide to require before the first dollar moves? Let me know your answer in the comments. Waiting for the Umar stands too. And if you missed this last video, you should watch it. Click now and I will see you on the next one.
We got coming.
And out.
Coming.
Yeah, I do know that I will be the history teacher.
Shit, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
y'all do know that the Prince of Pan.
Y'all, shout out to Panda Press. This one here was the credential was fake, the bloodline was fake, school's fake, not open. I want to make sure, did we see this one already? I don't think we saw this one. Nope, we haven't. His videos are on point, and I am here for it. So we have a few lined up. Y'all hang out with me on Saturday, on today, and tomorrow, because it's only time I get the most of my content is on the weekends, because I have to work during the week. But yes, this is the craziest thing is that they will never challenge Umar at all, and they have the audacity to think that free speech somehow only works when they like it. That's not how our First Amendment operates. We don't, to the Umar Tardians, you know I don't give a damn how you feel. Umar Tardians know that. I don't care how they feel. I don't care how the candy asses feel, how the Umar Tardians feel, the Hentars. I don't care how these cult members feel. They want to be stuck in a cult for 1,000 years. I'm going to leave them there. Because they got to want to come out of this cult in order for them to stop being so brainwashed. But that's for them to come out of. They got to realize I'm in a cult and it's dumb and it's just taking advantage of me and my money. I'm tired of being broke trying to help Umar deliver nothing. And then when you ask him to show receipts, all of a sudden you're hitman enemy number one and he's blocking you. Because he doesn't want to be held accountable. And the longer he goes, the more empowered and emboldened he is to believe that he does not have to be held accountable. So they'll expect him at some point to show something. And then he delivers nothing. And then all of a sudden it's, well, you know, you can't knock him for trying to have an idea. No, we knocking him for lying like hell. He never had a good idea. He said he wanted to open a school. And he couldn't even surround himself with people to help him get it done. And when he was offered free help, free assistance, Jamar was willing to help hook him up with a whole team. What did Oompa Loompa say? I don't need that. We already got that. And he can't name his team. Who is Umar's team? See, here's where the Umar Tardians misses an opportunity to ask questions. He said he had a team. Go ask your dumbass cult leader, can you name the people on this team? Name them. Who's your team? Because we didn't know you had a team. So you got a team now. You need to write down the names of this team. You know, because you can't get a website going. Or do you have an IT person on that team that can establish a website for the school? Yeah, no. Because we're waiting on you to pull up a website. Let alone introduce us to your damn team. Umar won't even tell people who his attorneys are. Somehow he can go through settlements and give malware $68,600 though. Or appoint, you know, an ombudsman according to the other one. No one knows who that ombudsman is. So he's got a team that no one knows about, that he refuses to name. You know, an ombudsman is not somebody you keep secret. No. You're appointing an ombudsman to represent you, you know, as an arbitrator for a 501c3. Now we're supposed to know who the hell that is. That's public information. So who's the ombudsman that's sitting here helping him facilitate legal settlements on a private matter? Because that $68,600 was a private legal matter. Had nothing to do with FDMG. But yet there's an ombudsman involved. How does FDMG appoint an ombudsman? We don't know who he is or she is to help him settle some fictitious lawsuit between him and another individual person that has nothing to do with FDMG. So he's abusing the ombudsman? Is that what you mean? This is why people shouldn't speak about things they don't understand. So the other one is trying to make it seem like, because we'll check that out tonight. Oh, there's an ombudsman. Oh, okay, I'm going to shatter that theory. And when I say I'm shattering it, I'm going to shatter that theory, that dumb lie, down to its core. We try to make sure y'all tune in for that one. But this is the stuff that he claims he has around him. He claims he has a team. No one knows who this team is. So, obviously, Umar has imaginary friends and about 20-some voices in his head, pretending to be various roles on a board for FDMG that's not open. Got it.
Africanism will be the history teacher. Bullshit. So when your son comes into my history and political science class, you better let him know.
Idiots. Thursday's video dropped, and the comment section did exactly what this channel is built for. Took the receipt and went further. Multiple people came back with federal law, not Delaware law, federal law, and they were right, which means Thursday gave you the admission. Today you get the verdict. So before we get into it, I need to plan 3 things right now because everything in this video connects back to them. The credential was fake. His own government hearing proved it. The bloodline was fake. His own family's DNA proved it. And the school cannot legally exist anywhere in America, not just Delaware, anywhere. 3 pillars, all collapsed from inside his own story. Not from critics, not from struggle streamers, from his own mouth, on his own platforms, to his own supporters. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how that happened. And you are going to understand why. The question is not whether he knew. The question is what he planned to do about it.
Y'all know what's going on. And so do I.
In 1976, the Supreme Court decided Runyon versus McCrary. The court held that private schools discriminating on the basis of race violate Section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Not Title VI, not Brown versus Board, Section 1981. And the reason that distinction matters is because Section 1981 applies to every private school in America, regardless of whether they receive a single dollar of government funding. No federal funding hook required. No state law loophole. The Supreme Court looked at private schools specifically and said race-based exclusion violates federal law. Full stop. Delaware was never the real problem. Thursday's video framed it as a state issue because that is what he said on the podcast.
Right? Just like us. And they tell you your child can't come here because they're black. It's against state law. So if a white person wants their child at our school, we have to consider them for admission. We cannot exclude based on race.
So we can make it hard like this.
The comments section came back with the bigger law, and they were right. FDMG was announced in 2013. The building was purchased in 2019. Every Breakfast Club appearance, every PayPal link, every chosen one selected for a school that cannot legally exclude anyone on the basis of race happened after a Supreme Court decision that made the entire premise impossible. 50 years.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Psychology, and I'm a certified school psychologist. So yes, child psychology is my thing.
Okay.
Clinically and educationally.
Right. And so I understand you say white people can't be a part of the movement and you opening the school with all black kids, right?
Let me clarify.
You said
in the state of Delaware.
You said clinically. Y'all see that? He doesn't have a license or certification to purport himself as a clinical psychologist at all. Let me go back.
All black kids, right?
Let me clarify. In the state of Delaware, you cannot refuse admission.
Years.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Psychology, and I'm a certified school psychologist.
Ain't God good? Jesus, fix it. Y'all heard him say it. There it is. He lied about being a certified school psychologist. Y'all see that? God is so good. Now, see, this is the stuff that we report to the Board of Psychology, Umar. Because they told your dumbass to stop saying that. Because you're not licensed or certified at all. You went to hearings and lied to their face in administrative proceedings, saying that I never said that I was licensed or certified. You just did now. He's still not licensed or certified. Lord, we thank you. He's saying it right here. I'm a certified school psychologist. No, you're not. You're not certified. Obtaining a degree does not give you automatic certification. It doesn't. It just means you went to school. Come on, somebody. Can we get an amen in the chat? There is a difference in having a degree versus a certification. One can be certified without a degree, depending on the actual subject or the trade, the field of study. But he has a degree. He is not certified. And he just said here in this video, since the hearing that occurred with the Board of Psychology in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, this video was what, last year? Year before last? Within the last 2 years. He just said, I'm a certified school psychologist. Dear God, you can't make this up. He lied like hell, and he's still purporting himself to be certified when he is not certified. He's not certified. This is a lie. A big ass lie from the hottest parts of hell. And here he falsely represents himself to the public as a certified school psychologist. He cannot do that. He's not employed with a school, serving in any role, nor does he have any certification. Still got to be certified. He did it right here. Lord, we thank you for this slip up. I don't even know if it was a slip up because he keeps saying this. Like, people don't realize he says this all the time. I'm just so glad I heard this in this video. I got to snip this, y'all. Now we can report your ass, Umar, with lots and lots of snippets about how you keep lying about the same dumb shit. Just like how he keeps lying about being a descendant of Frederick Douglass. When the DNA test results have come in, and it is discovered to be that Frederick Douglass is not the father or the ancestral father. The whole family, the descendants of Frederick Douglass, wants Umar the Oompa Loompa to kick rocks and have several seats and leave their name out of his mouth. He refuses to leave these people alone. Just like he refuses to stop lying about being certified. Can't make this up.
So yes, child psychology is my thing. Okay. Clinically and education.
No, it's not. Clinically, nope. He can't serve in a clinician role. In a clinical role, nope, can't do it. Can't do it.
Okay.
Clinically and
nope. You can't do it clinically. You're not licensed or certified to be a child psychologist, clinically speaking. You can't do that. He doesn't give a damn. He just tries to prop himself up because he hates himself. You know, he hates what he sees in the mirror. He's a deadbeat who couldn't raise his own kids. But yet he wants to hype up all these low self-esteem black women all over the world to believe that he's going to help their black boys. Where's the school website again? He does all this lip service and he can't find somebody with the ability to do programming and create a website for FDMG. So none of the Umar Tardians are going to go to him to say, it's time that you have a website. Simple stuff. They're not going to come up with the ability to tell him that. Because, you know, they stuck on stupid as well. He can't give any expertise or advice or anything, clinically speaking. He must be licensed and certified to do that shit clinically. I'm just glad he's telling on himself. Yeah, because we snipping all of this. See, this is what you report to the board of psychology when he's sitting here saying this stuff. And he can't say, well, I didn't say that I was licensed or certified. You just did, literally, in this one interview, and statements back to back, because you're an idiot. Umar, the Oompa Loompa Johnson, is a buffoon. He is absolutely stupid on every level. I don't know why he wants people to believe that he's intelligent, but he's not. Keep on telling on yourself, you moron.
And educationally. Right. And so I understand you say white people can't be a part of the movement and you opening a school with all black kids.
Hey,
well, let me clarify. In the state of Delaware, you cannot refuse admission into a school, even if it's independent, on the basis of race.
Okay.
You follow me?
That is not a man who learned something new and did not know how to respond. That is a man who understood the law well enough to immediately formulate a workaround strategy and announce it publicly to his donor base. The Supreme Court did not say you cannot formally exclude students based on race, but you can make it really inconvenient for them. The court said race-based discrimination in private school admissions violates federal law. Making it hard on purpose is discrimination. The law does not have a "that's different" exception. That statement is already public record, and it was made before the certificate of occupancy was issued, before the first student was enrolled, before the school opened its doors to anyone.
6 to
We're going to
10.
start with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay.
So 7 through 10.
So what I'm saying is how do you go about teaching white youth the history?
Whose history?
Ours.
Ours?
Okay. However,
always begin with the end in mind. I'm teaching white children Black and African history for what purpose? Why am I doing this?
I mean, it's all right. Like, overrated as in my opinion. I mean, and you know what though? That's typically how the bullshit goes. You feel me?
Now let us talk about the building itself for a second, because the name matters here. He named it the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Frederick Douglass, one of the most important figures in Black American history, a man who escaped slavery, became an abolitionist, and spent his entire life fighting for human freedom, regardless of race. Frederick Douglass also married a white woman, his second wife, Helen Pitts. 1884, public record. The man built his school's identity around a figure whose own life directly contradicts the admissions policy he was trying to enforce, in a building that cannot legally exclude white students, while saying,
"Black queens forever, snow bunnies never." I said, "Black queens forever, snow bunnies never." I said, "Black queens forever, snow bunnies never."
My African brothers and sisters, here's the part that should bother every single person who ever donated to this school. He did not stumble into this legal problem. He is not an outsider who made an honest mistake about education law. For 13 years, he has presented himself as the foremost authority on Black education in America, the expert, the one man who understands what Black boys need better than anyone in the licensed establishment. That is the brand. That is the pitch.
Y'all do know that I will be the history teacher.
Huh?
Y'all do know that the Prince of Pan-Africanism will be the history teacher. So when your son comes into my history and political science class, you better let him know we don't do pretendianism in here. We are Africans. And if you don't want your son to be taught to be an African, he does not need to be a member of the FDMG Black Star Line. I'm gonna say it again.
What is he doing? He's beginning to believe.
If you are not African, if you don't want your son to be taught how to be African, don't.
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked me that. Andre asks, at Lady Luck Club, how can insane, humane excuse maker be officially shut down once and for all. I told you all once before, and I will say it again. You're going to have to sue him. Because with that, you can petition the court for orders to restrain him from fundraising, to restrain him from referring to himself as a licensed school psychologist, clinically, educationally, emotionally, mentally, don't care. And all of those things should come with actionable enforcement, meaning he violates the court orders, he can be held in contempt of court, and they need to get to the point where he goes straight to jail. This is what, I mean, aside from, because I haven't seen his personal taxes, aside from what can be reported to the IRS, and I've sent out the complaint forms in the past. It's a complaint form you can utilize as donors for those who have donated, to say we've asked this idiot to give us a breakdown on how he spent our money when he proclaims that he's raising money for the sole purpose of opening FDMG. But every time we ask, we have all these video evidence from his Instagram lives where he blocks people. He sends out the Umar Tardians after people. He got a pull-up gang where, they'll show up at your house. They get the cyberbullying, the cyber doxing. They target you. They commit cyber crimes. And we have all this evidence simply because you're demanding that he gives some level of accountability and showing receipts and how he spent all this money. The IRS has to hear this stuff coming in from these donors. They gotta stop being scared as hell. It's more of them than it is of him. It's only one Umar Oompa Loompa. Even if you get 50 donors to get in on this, to do it, and they're serious about it, to take him to court and to get these orders put in place by the court where they are to be upheld. And it is clear that if you violate these orders, your ass will go to jail. I guarantee you, he will have no choice but to stop, because this punk ass is not trying to go to jail. That's one way to get him. That's the best route. That's why it irritated me to hear Malware lying about a class action lawsuit when a lawsuit is the very thing that needs to happen. Whether the conscious community is scared as hell, or they punks or cowards or spineless or whatever, because they can't sit here and tell somebody what to talk about when they spineless asses don't want to sue Umar. Child, please, kick rocks. You don't get to tell Panda Press what to report on when your ass can't go and ask Umar for a receipt. I dare you. Go ask Umar to show you receipts of how he spent your damn money before you think you're going to infringe upon free speech and expression. Out of here. But that's the best viable option to shut. That's why it irritated me to hear her lie about that. Because I'm like, that's the one resolution that needs to happen. And then all of these videos, posts that he's done, all this stuff, everything he said can and will be used against him. And they should use it against him in a court of law. Not on social media, in a court of law. So they can get orders signed forcing him to give up discovery. We got to compel it out of you. So we got to do that. You're going to have to be resorted to paying fines and fees and quite possibly be held to contempt. Piss off that judge if you want to. They will lock you up too. Even if it's for 90 days. I don't give a damn. That's the only thing that's going to put his ass in check. We're going to revoke your passport. You're not going anywhere. You violated this order. You keep raising money. You keep doing all this shit. Now you're going to go to jail. We're looking for you. Turn yourself in. Look how he acts when he gets a writ of monition judgment. I want y'all to pay attention to how he acted last year when the courts ordered him to pay water, sewage, and vacant property registration fees. Imagine a court issuing a warrant for his arrest. because he's now being held in contempt of court and he failed to appear. And they having his ass capious. Imagine it. You wouldn't know what the hell to do with himself. That's how you put him down permanently. You got to utilize the law, but they're scared to do it. And I'm not a donor. I ain't giving him my damn money. But that's the best route to go. And if you have a team of attorneys that are saying, we're tired with this nonsense with him, we're not trying to settle, we're not trying to negotiate shit, we want a full jury trial, we want it to be recorded, we want the world to see it, we want all of these documents and exhibits to be released to the public, we want these donors to know they're not alone and that it is time for justice to be served. And the best way to make that happen is to take Umar Johnson's funky ass to court. Not lie about it, but actually do it. And in that way, you go and defy these judges' orders if you want to, Umar. They will lock you the hell up. That's the best route. Question is, are these so-called donors going to stop playing around and listening to the Breakfast Club and just do what needs to be damn done? I mean, hell, even with this, they can report him to the board. He can be reported to the Board of Psychology for still proclaiming to be a licensed, certified clinical child psychologist when he's not. And he went and lied to their faces about it. So now they can see proof that he's still doing this dumb shit and he's not going to stop unless he's forced to stop by a court. Because that's all he's going to pay attention to. Somebody like him, where he's gotten away with so much for so long, he doesn't care about how we feel or what we think. He didn't care about the struggle streamers at all. He didn't even care about his own cult members. He could give a damn about Umar Tardies. But he will have no choice but to care about what a judge signs and orders him to do. He could talk about, oh, that cease and desist means nothing. Yeah, okay. Until you're held in contempt against that order. Yeah, keep saying it means nothing. Y'all know there's a cease and desist out here that's still valid. He shouldn't be fundraising in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And yet his dumbass is still doing it. But see, that has to be reported over to the prosecutor so that they can pursue enforceable action against him with the evidence that he is violating that cease and desist order. They're going to have to take it to court. I believe it was a government agency that issued the cease and desist order. But the prosecutors are going to be the one that's going to have to say, okay, or the attorneys for the agency are going to have to be the ones to say, he violated this order. Now we're seeking enforceable action against him, and they're going to have to take him to court. That'll be one way to stop him from fundraising. That has to be done. There has to be enough pressure put on that agency that issued the order to say you all need to file a petition for a contempt. He's violating this order and he's playing in your face. But whatever anyone decides to do, it just has to go through the court of law at this point. Because otherwise, you know, Kamal is shitting all over the idea of a class action lawsuit. I mean, come on. And now he sees it coming a mile away, and then what? Like, it's so crazy. I hate that she lied about that. But, you know, if he sees it coming a mile away, he can't stop it. But he'll say, oh, here we go again, another lie about this. Like that. That's why you don't play around with it. But that's the best way to do it. Does it make sense? Yeah, good question, though. Good question.
Send him to the FDMG Academy. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. This is a Pan-Africanist institution. When he sits in one of these desks, when he sits before Professor Ifatunde, when he sits before Professor Ifatunde,
listen, campaign against these podcasters.
Black in green, brothers and sisters. Who ready for the FDMG revolution?
Hey, Mindy.
Who ready for the FDMG revolution? Wait until you see the uniforms. Wait until you see the uniforms, brothers and sisters. We taking over education.
Come on, none of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up.
Mouse voice.
They lie.
This ain't no charter school. This ain't no public school. This ain't no Catholic school. This ain't no home school. This is Garvey Douglas Garvey school. This is King Kong. Oh, yes. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. The revolution is coming. The revolution is coming, brothers and sisters. Look at that floor shining. Y'all see that floor shining? Y'all see that floor shining? Look at the glass. Look at the glass, brothers and sisters. Y'all see that floor shining?
Yeah. Look at the shiny floors in a bando that is not insured. So if you go in there and slip and bust your ass, you cannot file a workers' comp claim or anything. That bando has no insurance. None. Oh, and it has not been inspected either. So good luck to that.
Y'all see them desks shining? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The time has come, brothers and sisters.
Oh, Lord.
The time has come, brothers and sisters. We not playing with y'all. We not playing with y'all. The hardest working man in black consciousness. The hardest working man in black consciousness. Ladies, can I get some home cooked vanilla chocolate queens? Where my cinnamon queens and my fudge queens and my
always want somebody to feed
maple syrup queens and my cocoa butter complected queens with the all natural hair from head to toe, brothers and sisters. Where they at? Where the queens at?
Oh, Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
The hardest working man in black consciousness.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
That is why the chosen one's language worked. Because if you believe he is the expert, you trust his judgment on everything, including the legal structure of the school he is building. Runyon versus McCrary has been settled law since 1976. That is not an obscure legal footnote. That is a Supreme Court decision specifically about private schools and race-based admissions. Any person doing basic legal research before fundraising for a private school would find it. Any lawyer consulted before purchasing a building with donor money would cite it. Any genuine education expert.
Umar, I thought you had a team of people around you that, can help you cite law, in case law and precedents and all that. I understand you don't know how to spell the word precedent, but I thought you had that team already in place. What's the name of the ombudsman again? Oh, y'all, I'm so going in tonight on my second channel. Do not miss out on that live stream. I'm telling you all. What's the name of that damn ombudsman? Yeah, okay. And yet he has attorneys, right? According to malware, Umar has attorneys. Did y'all know that?
Building an institution from scratch would know it. So the question the comments section kept asking is the right one. Did he not know, or did he know and keep fundraising anyway? Those are the only two options. And I need you to sit with both of them for a second. If he did not know, then the foremost authority on black education in America did not do the basic legal homework before taking millions of dollars in donations for a school. That is incompetence. If he knew, then he took those donations anyway for 13 years while describing a school that the law never allowed him to build. That is something else entirely. Which one is worse? That question is yours to answer, not mine. And if none of that was enough, if you are still thinking he could find a way to make the workaround work, there is one more layer. The workaround he announced does not save the school. It destroys it. FDMG operates as a nonprofit organization. The IRS requires that private schools maintain a written racial non-discrimination policy, disclose it publicly, and apply it across all programs in order to keep their 501c3 tax-exempt status. That requirement has existed since 1971. No exceptions for cultural mission, no exceptions for Pan-African principles. Written policy, public disclosure, applied to everything. Great plan. 2 thumbs up on that one, my African brothers and sisters. People keep saying he is just disorganized, that the school is taking longer than expected because building institutions is hard.
God have mercy upon us.
And you know what, though? That's typically how the bullshit goes. You feel me?
That the system keeps getting in his way. Let me show you what the system looks like. In August 2025, the FDMG building in Wilmington faced a sheriff's sale, not because of a lawsuit, not because of a government conspiracy, because of unpaid, vacant property registration fees and outstanding utility bills. The city posted the notice directly on the building. He found out when someone sent him a photo. A building with no students, no certificate of occupancy, no legal path to operate as advertised, could not pay its own bills. His response was to go online and ask supporters for emergency donations to stop the auction. The PayPal link that has been running since 2013 was now the only thing standing between the chosen ones and a sheriff's gavel. That is not a man being sabotaged by the system. That is a man whose building cannot legally open, cannot legally operate as he sold it, and cannot pay its own utility bills, all at the same time. And the community that funded all of this never got a financial report. Not one itemized accounting of where the donations went.
I've never seen it.
Not one audited statement. Not one breakdown of what was spent on renovations versus what was spent on everything else. And in the middle of all of it, while the building was almost going to auction, he was on Instagram Live wiping desks and asking supporters for deviled eggs and banana pudding. That is not bad luck. That is not a series of setbacks. That is a pattern, and patterns do not lie.
Stop for a second, because I need you to go back through everything we just covered and ask one question. Not about him, about what this series of events actually means. And the school cannot legally exist anywhere in America as advertised. Not in Delaware, not in any other state he could have chosen. 3 pillars: the credential, the bloodline, the school. All 3 collapsed from inside his own story. Not from critics, not from struggle streamers, not from the white establishment.
Now I'm seeing this comment here, that he has registered as a 501c4 and not a 3. Is that right? Am I reading that right? Good child. 501c4 is not for a school. Exactly. It's not. Y'all, let me get the supers in right quick. Thank you, Enterprise. Y'all, shout out to Enterprise Entertainment up in the house, honey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the $2 super, because he's a hypocrite and a bum and thief, clown ass. Show you right. He is. Umar is a clown. He's a scammer and a con artist. And he's just living off of everybody else's money. That's it. Oh, shout out to you, Enterprise, for another $2 super. We also need to campaign against these podcasts. Exactly. Breakfast Club starting first and foremost, in the Mark Lamont Hill one, and then the other one, Art of Dialogue, and then, any others he keeps going on, spilling out this stupid ass rhetoric. It's like he's stuck on auto repeat. It just says the same thing over and over and over and over, and occasionally talks about another entertainer or superstar that's married to someone of, a different race. That's it. He has nothing interesting or informational to provide. He's not smart or intelligent. He's just racist and he hates himself. That's it. More stuffing your face with little Debbie snack cakes does not do anything to boost your self-esteem. You need counseling and therapy. But don't keep pouring out your self-loathing and hatred on yourself to everyone else and then expect everybody else to be as hateful as you are or incompetent. I mean, because he's incompetent. So if he really converted those schools to a 501c4, I'm going to pull up the information so you all can see why the IRS is really about to be pissed the hell off with him. Umar, I don't know who you listening to, but it's not a bar licensed attorney. He got these stupid Umar Tardians telling him to do stupid shit, and none of them went to law school. You can't make this stuff up. Shout out to your enterprise. Thank you for the $2 super again. Thank you, Seth, for the $2 super. Lady Luck Club 100. I appreciate it. Miss Independent up in here, 199 super. Yeah, he's a 501c4 now. Oh, Umar. So a 501c4 must file annual financial reports. Umar, what a financial report said. I don't even have to read past that. I mean, y'all see all this stuff here, annual filing requirements and all that good stuff. Where the financial report said, Umar? Since you want to listen to morons who are dumber than you because they're your dumbass cult members that are kissing your ass with no spine, telling you to convert to a 501c4, where the hell are the annual financial reports? I haven't seen a financial report. Have you all seen a financial report? Hit the 4 if you expect to see a financial report. Because, Umar, you decided to go be a 501c4. Hit the 4 if y'all ready to see these financial reports. Hit the 4. Because I'm ready to see them now. See, this is what happens when you F around with the IRS. They're not in the mood. If you switching up from being a 501c3 to a 501c4, thinking that this is going to be better for you, when you're not smart enough to read 2 and 3 syllable words, you deserve everything that comes your way, Umar Johnson. You dumbass. So where are these annual financial reports at? Because we waiting on them. Oh, we waiting on them. By law, you got to file those financial reports now. See, when you're a 501c4, you're telling the IRS, we go out and we lobby and get involved in political activities, not necessarily a school thing. But you gotta file annual financial reports. So where they at? Umar, what are these financial reports at? It needs to have a breakdown of all the donations. Even if you don't have to name them, anyone that's donated $5,000 or more, you must report it. So we expect to see transactions of all donations that's over $5,000. And it's too late for them to go back and break those donations down into smaller increments, because that's what they try to do to get around that. The IRS know what the hell you're doing. No, Umar the Oompa Loompa is the dumbass. Why would he switch over FDMG from a 501c3 to a C4? What does that have to do with any political affiliation at all? Yeah, okay. When are you going to produce? By federal law, Umar, you have to provide financial reports. You dumb idiot. So I hope you post that up, or the IRS is going to get a new wave of complaints against you. Oh, I love it. Oh, he's like a stupid idiot. Oh, man, this is priceless, y'all. Umar, get the financial reports up, you moron. I know the Umar Tardians, boy, they love stalking my channel in the background. Hit the like button while Umar Tardians are back there. Hit the like button and tell your cult leader that by federal law, according to the IRS, he's supposed to post up annual financial reports. And we in the Lady Luck Club are in expectation of seeing them. He cannot work himself around it. Nope. Post that shit up. Your cult leader is an idiot. Oh, we got more supers. Thank you, Miss Independent, for that $1.99 super. Oh, let's see. Another $1.99 super from Miss Independent. Pocket Watcher with JT covers tax name changes. Oh, cool. I like Pocket Watcher with JT. He's good. Very smart. I think he actually is educated in finance. Because Umar thinks he is, but Pocket Watcher with JT really is. He's a financial analyst, I do believe. So shout out to him. Okay, y'all go check him out too. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. Pocket Watcher with JT. Enterprise with another $2 super. Umoist, don't go on Chat GPT and make up fake papers. I know, right? Because the IRS will know. See, here's the thing. When it comes to reporting those donations, you have to have proof of the donation and how it was provided to you as well in the event you're audited. So if it was a Cash App or a PayPal, you got to be able to pull that actual transaction, which will have a transaction ID number. Oh, I love this so much. Yeah, Umar puts his foot in his mouth. And he just nom on his foot, right? He realizes, oh shit, I'm eating my own foot. Is that Aurora or Borealis effect, something like that? The snake eating his own tail. The Borealis, Aurora Borealis. Am I saying that right? I'm gonna have to go back and watch Loki and see if I nailed it. Yeah, he's eating his own tail. But he doesn't care about the rule of law, because if he cared, he wouldn't be fundraising anywhere in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, because there's a cease and desist order still in effect. So he wouldn't be asking for any money in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the entire state. Now they need to get an order in place where he can't fundraise at all. He just needs to shut the F up about a PayPal and a Cash App. And a judge needs to sign an order telling him to do just that. The IRS is going to be so mad. Y'all. So you must file annual financial report. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $2 super as well, Enterprise. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is something else. You must file annual financial reports, typically using Form 990 or Form 990EZ, and adhere to specific donor disclosure rules and compliance regulations. Rules and regulations that Umar could not interpret if his life depended upon it. And Umar is not a tax attorney, so he doesn't understand how tax laws work at all. Umar, you can't even prove that you have a regular attorney for a so-called lawsuit against malware for $500,000. We already know if the IRS takes your dumb ass to court, you will lose like hell. You would have to give the plea deal and sign a plea agreement. Even your attorneys would be like, look, we're only going to take on your case if you agree to a plea deal. We're not doing this. You have nothing. You have no defense at all whatsoever. You can't make this up. Y'all see this? Umar's not a tax attorney. Now, I understand you got these morons running around here, talking about sectors and shit, thinking that they went to law school when they didn't. No, he didn't go either. So you can understand how this is going to be very complex for him. So aside from filing these tax forms, they're due by certain days. Plus, you got to make sure you still have those financial reports. Organizations with an annual gross receipts over $50,000 are required to file either Form 990 or Form 990EZ with the IRS. So either he's going to lie and say we didn't make that much money, to which he would have to actually prove that with all these donations and gifts hitting Cash Apps and PayPals, because they will get all of that information, even if they have to subpoena Cash App and PayPal, the software programs themselves. See, Umar, just because you don't want to provide it does not mean the company itself does not have a server with all of that information and data stored on it. I repeat, Cash App and PayPal, the companies, stores information on their servers. So play around with any of the 3-letter alphabet boys if you want to. They will get a subpoena, and Cash App and PayPal will cooperate. And they will give them whatever transactions they need. Please believe that. Then you have donor disclosure rules, more things that Umar have not read. He hasn't read none of this shit. You have state regulations. So whether you're in the state of Delaware or Pennsylvania, you have state regulations you must comply with when it comes to their donor disclosure requirements, especially if the organization engages in political activities. So why file as a 501c4 if you're not going to engage in political activities? Because that's what this is specifically for. 501c4s allows organizations to engage in political activities. It should not be their primary focus, but allows them to do that. Can you imagine if that's all that FDMG becomes, is a political something, blah, 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 because Pan-Africanism and yada, yada, yada. Oh, he is so fucked. Oh, man, this was the dumbest thing ever. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, no, Umar, keep on putting your foot in your mouth. We're here for it. Failure to comply can result in penalties by adhering to these reporting requirements and compliance considerations. 501c4 organizations can maintain their tax-exempt status while engaging in social welfare activities. Yeah. Keep on failing to adhere to the compliance regulations. Because he can't even provide annual financial reports. Y'all, this is priceless. Yeah, that information can be Googled. Just put in 501c4 and it'll give you all the information you need. Oh, it's priceless. You can go on the IRS website as well to get more information about 501c4s and their reporting requirements according to the IRS, federal laws. All right, come on, you dumb Oompa Loompa.
Establishment he keeps pointing at, from a government hearing he attended, from a family statement about his own DNA, from a podcast he chose to do, to supporters who trusted him. Every single time, the receipt came from inside his own narrative, and every single time, the community kept donating. That is not bad luck. That is a mechanism. And now you know exactly how it works.
Here you go, Mr.
The wild part is none of this was hidden. The government hearing was public record. The family statement was public record. The podcast was public record. The sheriff's cell notice was posted on the building itself. The receipts were always there. People just did not want to look. So the question I want to leave you with is this. If the credential was fake, the bloodline was fake, and the school cannot legally exist as advertised anywhere in America, what exactly has the community been funding for 13 years?
Bullshit.
And more importantly, what does the community decide to require from the next person who shows up with a title, a bloodline, a vision?
That question has already been answered. Let's take a look at Polite, Pharaoh, Nature Boy. Was it the York one? The one that Umar considered to be a great man and all. Yeah, let's take a look at those people. Conscious community don't really care what the hell you do. They don't even care if you break federal laws. They just, oh, you're a black person. We're supposed to support you and let you sit and do things to minor children. Oh, okay. They don't care. They're just as naive as it gets.
And a PayPal link. Thursday's video is where this all started. If you have not seen it yet, it is right here. Click now, and I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.
Look at the shine, brothers and sisters. Look at the shine. This is the first independent black school in American history, built with donations from every major black community on every continent to begin operation in a state.
Yeah, I told y'all we run them in with Panda Press, honey. He said, Umar wiped desk on live, then ask for your PayPal. Oh, this is too awesome. I haven't seen this. His name is Malachi York. Thank you so much. We got a few more supers that came in. Oh, let me see. Miss Independent, thank you for the $1.99 super. He is burnt toast. Oh, child, yes. Miss Independent with the other 199 Super says the Umar squad is on me bad right now. Oh, the Umar target is having a tantrum. Oh, your cult leader is an idiot. who registered as a 501c4 and will not be able to comply with filing annual financial reports because he doesn't have any. Just remind them of that, that you're going to alert the IRS that he's a lying piece of shit. And everyone else that encourages that behavior because, co-conspirator. Keep out Umar Tardius. Y'all better learn how to leave people the hell alone. Leave people the hell alone. Don't act as if feds can't uncover these damn YouTube profiles and shit. Why would you aid someone who refuses to provide receipts of transactions or anything? What do you stick it up for? Let him throw his tantrum. Umar's a grown-ass man that cares nothing about his code. So if any Umar Tardian needs their rent paid, I dare you to call Umar and say, look, I've given you $28,000. I've fallen on hard times and I just need help this once. Can you please send me over $3,000? Help me out. Blah, blah, blah. He will block your ass and keep living. He's like, no, I'm the one that begs. They can't show any proof of where he's donated or given any money out of his own pocket to anything, to any person, for any cause, for any reason. And I mean evidence, not him saying it. Because we all know he lied like hell when he tried to claim that he was trying to send some money to somebody and realized his accounts were frozen. That's called a lie. Because who is that person again? He didn't post a text or any evidence where someone asked him for some money and he said, okay, I will send it. Because he can post up messages all day, people asking him for some money. I want to see the text message of the post where he responds and says, yes, I'm sending it right now. And he actually does it. Where is that at? See, they want to sit here and be particular and then infringe upon free speech. Like no one has the right to criticize their dumbass cult leader who's now registered as a 501c4, to which the IRS will be more than happy to audit the hell out of him. Oh, Umar. You have no idea what you've done. And I'm so glad you don't. Please remain oblivious. You're an idiot. Just remind them of that. They'll leave you alone. Oh, he's got it coming. Oh, man. Let the Umar Tardians have their, they're just throwing tantrums because they know their cult leader is never going to give them a school. He's lied like hell to them, and they're slowly coming to that realization. Remind them of the IRS. They can be named in an investigation if they want. But you're not for play. That's it. And they'll back the fuck off, okay? Oh, child. You got these people. It's so crazy. They're mad about somebody saying something bad about it. Like, we don't owe him shit. We here in the Lady Luck Club do not owe Umar Johnson a damn thing. Umar, you can walk into oblivion right now, and I will sleep peacefully tonight. I won't even ask about your whereabouts. I could care less where you're live streaming from. I don't care if you were here on Earth or on Jupiter. I don't give a damn. So I certainly do not care how your cult members feel, because their feelings will mean nothing in a court of law at all. Not one damn thing. Where's that financial report you're supposed to be providing? You're well overdue. You're going to be a 501c4? We're waiting for the financial reports. That's what we're waiting for. That's all you got to remind them of. That 501c4 requires for him to provide financial reports. Tell him to start with a website. Good luck to that. Oh, this is priceless. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's get back to it. Y'all hit that like button.
School building. Stop playing with us.
Let me tell you what Dr. Umar Johnson did 2 days ago. He went on Instagram Live with over 250 people watching, showed them a classroom with around 20 desks, blue walls, clean whiteboards, and then asked for donation.
Oh, Lord. Again.
Oh, this is crazy.
Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Make sure you hit the PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy.
On the same live stream, he asked the community to bring him mac and cheese, deviled eggs, shrimp, greens with turkey juice, veggie lasagna, and a new personal chef because Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware.
Do you see me laughing, my nigga?
Because Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware. Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware. A school with no students.
I've never seen.
No certificate of occupancy.
I've never seen.
No operating permit.
I've never seen.
And until 2 days ago, a personal chef. This man stood in front of the Breakfast Club 2 weeks ago and told Charlemagne the renovations were complete. And 2 days ago, he was on Instagram wiping desks and asking for PayPal donations and deviled eggs at the same time. The community that donated millions to build this school is now being asked to bring the food too. 13 years, one classroom, no permits. 2 days ago, Dr. Umar Johnson went on Instagram Live, over 250 people watching, a classroom with 20 desks, blue walls, 2 whiteboards, a Windex bottle sitting on one of the desks, and Dr. Umar walking through the room, showing his donors what their money built. This was not a press conference. This was
their money built nothing. Is it the definition of the term that's throwing everybody off? He built nothing. Do I need to pull up the definition of the word built? Umar has not built a damn thing. I'm Jay Witt. How you doing, honey? Shout out to my big brother Jay Witt, you all. Y'all drop green hearts in the chat for Jay Witt. Oh, I'm going in, Jay Witt. Did you know Oompa Loompa registered as a 501c4? He's got to give up annual financial reports. The IRS is going to get in his butt. Can you believe it? Watch out. Umar, you got to come. You can make this. Shout out to you, Jay Witt. How you doing, honey? How's it going? Y'all, this man had a personal chef. Now he wants devil eggs from all of his cohorts of women. Oh my God. Listen, man. I can't understand how these women feel like an Umar Johnson is a good person. Or a good man for that matter. All he does is just throw out a bunch of rhetoric. He does not pay your bills. Umar Johnson will not be paying any of you women's bills at all. Is he going to reimburse you for the food when you go out and go shop for him to make these devil eggs and that turkey breast and collard greens and mac and cheese? Is he going to pay you all for the food you're going to have to buy? Because groceries cost money. I'm just saying. Groceries cost money. So is he going to reimburse you all for purchasing the food and for your time and labor in making these meals? Because none of you all gave birth to him. I can recollect. Y'all not his mama. Y'all don't owe him these meals. So why are you all spending your hard-earned money to feed his face when he can't tell you what he did with $700,000 or $2 million? He didn't buy anything. K-12 bought the buildings. And you only see a transfer fee of $10. That's not $700,000. So why he can't afford to buy his own groceries again? How do you turn around and beg for money and then tell somebody to bring you food? Obviously, he's not going to be able to pay for it, But he can't take his behind to Wendy's and McDonald's. No, you got cash outs and PayPals coming in. Take your behind somewhere, go get something to eat, and go pay for it. Just like the smoothie lady that was in the building, he didn't pay for those either. She making free smoothies to demonstrate on a 2-minute video in a building that has no insurance, riddled with black mold, and is not ready at all. Yeah, there are missing ceiling tiles. I don't know if anybody noticed. Missing ceiling tiles, okay? The fact that the building has not had an inspection tells me everything I need to know. He won't even apply for a permit to get it done. So, you know, there goes that. And he wants people to bring him a meal like he's doing something. I'm sorry. You think cleaning up only involves you using the same washcloth to wipe down over 20 desks that came from a building that had black mold in it. And when I say black mold, it's still there. It's not gone anywhere. Black mold that can be a hazard to your health and the health of a child. Can you imagine like an 8-year-old's lungs are not as fully developed as like a 55-year-old man, okay? Or however old Father Baba Yaga is. He's trying to put 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders in a bando with black mold where their lungs won't be able to handle all of that. And yet he wants you all to spend your hard-earned money, cook him some food, and bring it to him when he could take the money he's stealing from you all and go buy some McDonald's. Make it make sense? Oh, Umar. You can kick rocks.
A live stream on Instagram to more than 200 people wiping furniture. 2 weeks ago, he sat in the Breakfast Club chairs and told Charlemagne the renovations were complete. That was 12 days before this live stream. 12 days later, he is on Instagram with a Windex bottle showing donors a classroom that still has no certificate of occupancy. So let us take him at his word. The classroom has desks. The walls are painted blue. The whiteboards are up. The floors are clean. By his own account, the renovations are complete, and the building still cannot legally open as a school. Not because of the city, not because of the contractors, not because of the bank, because it does not have a certificate of occupancy.
Y'all know what's going on, and so do I.
After we get our certificate of occupancy, after we pass the final building permit, now here is where it gets interesting. While he was wiping the desks, while people were watching, while the building had no certificate of occupancy and no students and no operating permit.
G Academy. Make sure y'all hit the PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Make sure you hit the PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Make sure you hit the PayPal. PayPal.me/FD.
Why is he breathing so hard and heavy? Now you can't make this up. Umar, you aren't doing anything. Oh, y'all, Malware had the audacity to say I was breathing hard and he's losing weight. Oh, Malware. I will not be sparing you in my second live stream tonight. You understand me? Until you acknowledge you lie like hell. Oh, y'all, we got some supers. Let me get them in right quick. Shout out to Jay Witt, my brother. Keep up the solid commentary, sis. Let's make sure we like this video. Y'all like this video. Over 70 people watching. Hit the like button on this and share it out. And Jay Witt, please drop your YouTube channel link in the chat. If you guys have not checked out my brother's great content on his channel, shame on you. Go check him out. Are you still doing your marathon on Super Stupid? Tiffany here, y'all, is a whole child. So Jay Witt I think he has a marathon running on the Tiffany Henya stuff. So y'all make sure you go check him out and give him a hello and some engagement. Hit the like button over there and show him some love. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it. And Enterprise with the 2. Super, I want his fools to come at me. See permit on deck. Umar Tardians try to pick on people that they think that they can get over on. You know, they try to go for the people they perceive to be weak. Child, they better leave my Luxters alone. Leave my Luxters alone. Then they have no idea what Umar's in for. They haven't even read up on tax laws. Like, they might want to start with that before they think they can just come tell somebody not to criticize him like we don't have free speech and expression. Sue your ass. That's a federal lawsuit. Thinking you can only infringe upon free speech. Are you kidding me? Kick rocks, Umar Tardians. You don't infringe on free speech and expression. Umar is an idiot. The end. Yeah, he registers as a 501c4. Lord, we thank you. The IRS will be pleased to hear that. He's going to mess up so bad. Umar, I'm laughing because you have no idea what you've done.
FDMG Academy. I love you too, Black Diamond. I love you too, Black Diamond.
Oh, man.
Go to the block party, my ninja. There's go one person to the block party. Who next?
Yeah, I see he blocking people.
Who else going to the block party?
Such a clown.
Who else going to the block party? I love you too, Black Diamond. Bring me some mac and cheese. I need some mac and... Where my mac and cheese queens at? I need a nice pot of mac and cheese. I need a nice veggie lasagna. I need some homemade banana pudding. Where the queens who can cook at? New queens don't.
Mary. As KKC put it. Mary. I think he talking about you. Mary. Are you taking him that mac and cheese? Because he waiting. I thought you said he was losing weight, Mary. Mary lied to us, LLC. Oh, shout out to KKC. I love him.
Where the queens who can cook? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. I need that mac and cheese. I need the deviled eggs. I need the shrimp. I need the greens with the turkey juice. Black Diamond, stop playing with me, Black Diamond. Where that food at, queen? Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware, y'all. Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware. I need a new chef. Who the new queen who gonna bring me the food? Where my Philly queens at? My Chester queens.
Not a fundraising page with a goal and a breakdown of where the money goes. Not a transparency report showing where the $250,000 that never got accounted for across 3 separate Breakfast Club appearances actually went. Just a PayPal link while wiping desks on Instagram Live. And the community that has been donating since 2013 is still being asked to send more. Not because a new expense came up, not because something unexpected happened, but because the PayPal link is just always running. At this point, the PayPal link has outlasted the contractors. It has outlasted the water bills. It has outlasted Chef Barbie. The building changes. The excuses change. The opening date changes. The PayPal link never changes. PayPal me/FDMG Academy while wiping a desk in a building that cannot legally open. That is the update 13 years in.
But the PayPal link was not the only ask on this live stream. He needed mac and cheese, deviled eggs, shrimp, greens with turkey juice, veggie lasagna, homemade banana pudding, all on the same live stream, all in the same session as the PayPal link, all requested from the same community that has been funding this building since 2013. Now I want you to sit with that for a second. The community donated to buy the building, then donated again to save it from the auction when the water bills went unpaid. And now they're being asked to bring the food too.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And here's why he needs a new chef in the first place. Chef Barbie moved out of Delaware. Chef Barbie, his personal chef, at a school with no students, no certificate of occupancy, had a personal chef who is now relocated out of the state. So he is recruiting my Chester queens, my Philly queens, my Wilmington queens, my Camden queens. Whoever can cook needs to step up because the school that has been almost open since 2021 needs someone to handle the kitchen. The community gave millions to build an institution. They are now being asked to staff the kitchen and bring the deviled eggs. That is not a school update. That is a dinner request. Now let us talk about what is actually stopping the school from opening. He said it himself on the live stream. His exact words: after we get our certificate of occupancy. The certificate of occupancy is the legal document that says a building can be used for its intended purpose. Without it,
The building cannot operate as a school, cannot have students, cannot have teachers, cannot have classes. It does not matter how clean the desks are. Without that certificate, the building is just a building. March 23rd, 2026, Breakfast Club. Renovations complete. 12 days later, he is still waiting on permits. 2 years ago, he live streamed the bathroom. Today, it is one classroom. At this rate, the cafeteria goes live sometime around 2028. The renovation was supposed to be the last step. It was not the last step. And there is always a PayPal link running while they wait. While he was wiping the desks, he said something that I need you to hear clearly. He told the donors watching that their sons would be among the chosen ones at FDMG. His exact words: if your son is lucky enough to be amongst the chosen ones of FDMG, the chosen ones, not enrolled students, not applicants, not kids who passed an entrance requirement or met an academic standard, the chosen ones, selected by Dr. Umar Johnson for the Sacred Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
What is he doing? He's beginning to believe.
In a building with no certificate of occupancy, with no faculty roster, no curriculum, no enrollment process, no chef. The chosen ones have nowhere to sit yet because the building cannot legally open, but the language is already doing its job. Chosen ones, sacred institution, chosen by Dr. Umar Johnson for the revolution. That language is not accidental. That is the same language that has been running this operation since 2013.
Look at the shine, brothers and sisters. Look at the shine. Woo-hoo! I can't wait till the first day of class. I'm going to say, on your feet, young men. What is your name, sir? What is your name, sir? From this day forward, we do not bunny hop. Do you understand, young men? Do you understand? I am your professor, Dr. Umar Ifatunde. You may call me Dr. Umar. And the first rule of FDMG is if it's not about FDMG, we don't talk about it. Oh, yes. Repeat after me, young men. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Where my FDMG donors at? How many of y'all donated, brothers and sisters? When the last time you donated to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? When is the last time you donated to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? When is the last time you donated to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey? When your son comes to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for the first day, he's never going to want to leave. When your son comes to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, when he sits in one of these seats, if your son is lucky enough to be amongst the chosen ones of FDMG, I said, if your son is lucky enough to be amongst the chosen ones at FDMG, he ain't never going to want to leave, brothers and sisters.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He is never going to want to leave, brothers and sisters. See, these Negroes got a million questions for King Kong, but they ain't have no questions for the miseducation machine. Black children been getting miseducated for 407 years, and we don't say nothing to them school districts. We don't say nothing to them school districts, but we got a million questions for the prince. Damn hypocrites.
You are not just donating to a school. You are part of a movement. Your son is not just a student. He is chosen. And while you are feeling chosen, the PayPal link is running 3 times. The Chosen Ones framework is not about the children. It is about keeping the donors feeling special enough to keep sending money to a building that has never taught a single child. 13 years, 0 students, infinite chosen ones. Now here's the part that should make every single donor who ever sent money to FDMG feel something. On the same live stream, in the same session, while wiping desks, while recruiting a new personal chef, he announced FDMG South Africa, Nigeria, FDMG Brazil, UK, Costa Rica, Hawaii. And then he said this: somebody get the president of South Africa on the phone and tell him Dr. Umar need a school building. I don't need no money. Just give me the building.
Shut the fuck up. Back the fuck up. I knock the fuck out you. Hey.
Let that land for a second. He has owned a building in Wilmington, Delaware since 2019. It still does not have a certificate of occupancy. It has never taught a single.
He still has not provided evidence that he bought it. Oh, why? I'm not giving him that credit. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I will not give Umar Oompa Loompa any credit of buying a building when I have not seen evidence that he bought it. Where is the receipt? Not when I can go on the website and look at the deed and see K-12 management. That's not Umar's company. He didn't even buy it. Because that's basic information that can be verified with a deed. And I'm trusting what I read on a deed and on the city's website. So 2 different pieces of information is corroborating each other. Umar did not buy a damn thing. He bought nothing, people.
Child. And on a live stream 2 days ago, he asked someone to get the president of South Africa on the phone to give him another building for free because he does not need the money. He will raise the money.
Free.
Just give him the building. The Delaware donors have been funding the dream since 2013. The certificate of occupancy is still pending, and now the same pitch is being prepared for South Africa, Nigeria, Brazil, and the UK. This is not ambition.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Ambition requires a track record. You cannot expand what you have not yet opened, but the PayPal link works in every country. All right, stop for a second, because I want you to go back through everything we just covered and look for the school. The desks are there, 20 of them, blue walls, clean whiteboards, a Windex bottle. He showed you all of it on his own live stream, to his own donors, on his own phone, but there are no teachers, no students, no curriculum, no enrollment process, no operating permit, no certificate of occupancy, no chef. What the community donated to build is still not a school. It is a building with furniture that a man is cleaning on Instagram Live while asking for PayPal donations and deviled eggs.
Say Cheese TV if he paying. I go on Say Cheese. I go on mozzarella cheese, Italian cheese. I'll go on melted cheese, frozen cheese. We need money for the revolution. Tell Say Cheese to get at the prince.
That makes him sound so greedy. And he's supposed to be on, I thought he was losing weight and on a diet, according to Malware. Malware, you thought that was insulting me? Look at the shit that he's firing off that he wants to stuff in his mouth. All these food items he's naming that he wants to sit down and breathe and inhale. He might as well just go ahead and add hog maws and pig feet and chitterlings to the list. What are we talking about? This idiot wants the most unhealthy stuff. He didn't say a salad or broccoli. Cabbage, rutabaga, celery, carrots. No. Banana pudding, mac and cheese, collard greens with turkey juice. Oh, good grief. How's that a step towards losing weight again? My word, you got some explaining to do. Yo, lying ass. Yeah, we got a couple more supers that came in. Oh, man. Oh, let's see here. Hold on. Shout out to Enterprise for the $2 super. Drinking Spider-Man / Venom smoothies. No Marvel. This lady told people that she can ship them internationally. I was like, wait, what? So they have no idea what they'll be drinking when they receive it. How are you going to ship these smoothies internationally? They coming in these pouches or something. What? How's that going to look? How's it going to taste? You know, it's supposed to be all natural and everything. I guess she's going to send them in frozen pouches somehow. Good luck to that. I'm just saying, good luck and be careful. You might want to say your grace. Shout out to you, Enterprise. Thank you for the 2. Seth, how you doing, Seth? Seth, that's $2 super. Turkey juice sounds disgusting. He's sitting here talking about, now I'm going to tell you all how I ate collard greens growing up as a child. My grandmother would use smoked turkey necks or smoked turkey wings to make collard greens. I don't know what juice, other than the juice that comes when you put the water and the greens together. I don't know what other juice he's talking about. But that's the juice. It's the all juice, whatever the juice is that comes from, it's like pot liquor, as it's called. Pot liquor, a liqueur. That is basically the juice from the greens mixed with the smoked turkey necks. But I don't know about any turkey juice. Hell no. Gravy, maybe? Maybe he means gravy. He wants gravy. Umar looks like the type of person that just open a can of gravy and drink it. Like a delicatessen. Oh, man. Yeah, I can imagine him doing that. Umar drinking cans of turkey gravy and cranberry sauce and saying, you know, I just had my Thanksgiving meal today. And I ate a slice of bread, popped open a can of turkey gravy and a can of cranberry sauce, and I went to it. I got busy. That's it. That's all I can think of. Otherwise, I don't know what turkey juice is. Turkey juice, PP, something. Who knows? Thank you for the $2 super. I appreciate that, y'all. Let's get back to it.
Serious conversations only. I don't want to talk about people. I want to talk about ideas. I want to talk about solutions. I want to talk about institutions. Don't waste my time talking about what you think about him and what do you think about him. I don't think anything about them. I'm too busy trying to liberate African people. South Africa. What's up, South Africa? We got to build FDMG, South Africa. I need one of them South African schools in the ghetto. I need one of them South African schools in the township. Somebody get the president of South Africa on the phone and tell him Dr. Umar need a school building. I don't need no money. Just give me the building. I don't need no money. We'll raise the money. Just give me the school building. South Africa, are you ready? Nigeria, are you ready for FDMG, Nigeria? Birmingham, UK, are you ready for FDMG, Birmingham, UK? Manchester, UK, are you ready for FDMG, Manchester, UK? Costa Rica, are you ready for FDMG, Costa Rica? Brazil, are you ready for FDMG, Brazil? We're not playing with y'all. FDMG Hawaii, FDMG Texas, my Houston, my Dallas, my Fort Worth, my San Antonio. Are you ready for FDMG?
And here's what I need you to notice. Every single receipt in this video came from him, not from a critic, not from a hater, not from the struggle streamers doing it for 2 views, from his own Instagram Live, his own words, his own PayPal link, his own food request, his own permit admission, his own international expansion announcement. He gave you all of this himself. The Breakfast Club gave you the contractor contradiction. The Pennsylvania board hearing gave you the credential admission. The Douglas family gave you the bloodline rejection. And now his own Instagram Live gives you the desk wipe and the deviled egg request. Every chapter of this story, the receipts come from inside his own narrative, not from outside enemies, from him, every single time. That man is not being sabotaged by the system. That man is the system. And the community that keeps donating, keeps showing up, keeps bringing the mac and cheese and the deviled eggs and the greens with the turkey juice. That community deserves one question answered before the next PayPal link drops. What exactly are we funding?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Here is what I keep coming back to. Dr. Umar Johnson has been doing this for 13 years. And in 13 years, the ask has never changed. Send money, bring food, trust the process. The chosen ones are coming. What has changed is the scale of the ask. It started with a school in Delaware. Now it is schools on 4 continents. The building in Delaware still does not have a certificate of occupancy, but the international expansion is already being announced on Instagram Live while the desks get wiped down. The community that funded the Delaware dream is still waiting for the Delaware school. The South African community has not been asked yet. The Nigerian community has not been asked yet. The Brazilian community has not been asked yet, but they will be. And when they are asked, the pitch will sound exactly the same as it did in 2013. A credential, a legacy connection, a vision for Black liberation, a PayPal link, 3 times. So here's the question I want you to sit with. At what point does the community decide that the ask itself is the product? Not the school, not the chosen ones, not the other events and programs he has been running alongside FDMG, the ask, the perpetual fundraising machine that has been running since 2013 with a rotating cast of excuses and a PayPal link that never changes, because the school might open, the permits might come through, the certificate of occupancy might get signed. August 2027 might actually happen this time. But even if it does, even if the doors open and the chosen ones walk in and the mac and cheese gets served and Chef Barbie gets replaced, the question of where 13 years of donations went will still be sitting there unanswered, waiting for someone in those Breakfast Club chairs to finally pick up a calculator. In case you missed the last video, here it is. Click now and I'll see you there. And out. Dr. Umar Johnson has spent 13 years telling the community he is building a school for Black boys. 13 years of fundraising.
Y'all, this is the last video we have where he speaks about more of why Umar the Oompa Loompa can never exclude or be discriminatory, basically. And this video kind of dives a little bit more into that. And this will be the last one that we'll check out in this live. Tomorrow we will be going over the full video of the vandalism, because I have not seen the entire video of this so-called vandalism that occurred in the bigger bando that was supposed to be vacant since 2020? How does one vandalize and steal 5,000 books out of a vacant building that is riddled with black mold? Yeah, why would he put books inside of a building riddled with black mold that the city of Wilmington said to vacate in 2020? And this so-called vandalism happened in when? 2024? So we're going to take a look last year. Was it last year or the year before last? Yes, well after 2020, when the city said this is deemed unsafe and not fit for human habitation. So we have a lot of questions to ask about why he feels the need to lie about having 5,000 books put into a bando that was supposed to have been vacated since 2020, according to a violation from the city. Because Umar's an idiot. Shout out to you all so much for tuning in. We got this one last video up. And that will be the conclusion of it, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's get to it.
13 years of Breakfast Club appearances, 13 years of PayPal links and donation drives.
Make sure y'all hit my Venmo and my PayPal. PayPal.me/Umar the psychologist.
We don't do that here.
PayPal.me/Umar.
That was last year. But y'all saw the violation report. Shout out to KKC who got it from a FOIA request where it said that it was supposed to have been vacated back in 2020 because he would not have been able to get that building up to code. So it's been vacant for 5 years and somehow he stuffed 5,000 priceless books inside of it. Yeah, Umar, you lied to your cult members because they're dumb enough to believe you. But that's not everybody on earth. We owe you nothing. We don't owe you the benefit of the doubt. We owe you nothing. We don't have to believe shit you say. It's hilarious to think that he's claiming that 5,000 books were vandalized in a bando that was vacated since 2020 and is riddled with black mold. You know those books would have black mold spores all over it, right? Yeah, okay. He wants to put his health in jeopardy? Let him.
Or the psychologist, or tap my Venmo.
And opening dates that never happened. And in July 2025, he sat on a podcast and said something that should have ended the entire conversation. His exact words: in the state of Delaware, you cannot refuse admission into a school, even if it's independent, on the basis of race. So if a white person wants their child at our school, we have to consider them for admission. We cannot exclude based on race. Let that sit for a second. The School for Black Boys, the school the community has been funding since 2013, the school that has collected millions of dollars in donations across more than a decade, cannot legally exclude white students in the state he chose, in the building he purchased with the money the community donated. And his response to learning this was not to fight it. It was not to move the school. It was not to refund a single dollar. He said this: we can make it hard like they do for us. That is his plan, not a legal challenge, not a relocation, a deliberately difficult admissions process designed to discourage white applicants in a state that legally prohibits exactly that.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
He knew the law applied when he bought the building. He knew it when he took the donations. He knew it when he stood in the Breakfast Club chairs and asked for more. He knew, and the community that donated never did. Before we get to the admission, I need you to hear something else from that same podcast, because at the very end of the episode, after everything he said, he gave the community an update on the school. His exact words: all we got to do is lay down the tile in the Marcus Garvey Elementary School. And once we lay down the tile, we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy from the city of Wilmington.
But it's true. None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
July 2025. Still laying tile, still waiting on the certificate of occupancy, still describing a building that cannot legally open as a school. Now hold that date, July 2025, because on March 23rd, 2026, 8 months later, Dr. Umar Johnson sat in the Breakfast Club chairs and told Charlemagne the renovations were complete. Not almost complete, not mostly done, complete. He was not there to apologize. He was there to fundraise. July 2025, he is laying tile on a podcast. March 2026,
He is telling the most listened to morning show in Black America that renovations are finished. Both statements are public record. Both have timestamps. One of them is not true.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
And the community watching The Breakfast Club did not have the July podcast, but you do now. Now here's the receipt that changes everything. Same podcast, July 2025. Someone asks him a question about the school and white students, and Dr. Umar says this: in the state of Delaware, you cannot refuse admission into a school, even if it's independent, on the basis of race. So if a white person wants their child at our school, we have to consider them for admission. We cannot exclude based on race. Let that sit for a second. The School for Black Boys, the school the community has been funding since 2013, the school that has collected millions of dollars in donations across more than a decade, cannot legally exclude white students. In the state he chose, in the building he purchased, with the money the community donated.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Delaware law applies to all private schools, regardless of whether they receive government funding. The independent school status that Dr. Umar has always said protects him from outside interference does not protect him from this. The law applies. He said so himself. He has owned that building since 2019. 6 years of fundraising, 6 years of Breakfast Club appearances, 6 years of PayPal links, 6 years of chosen ones, 6 years of knowing and counting. Now here's the part that takes this from a legal problem to a documented statement of intent. Because after admitting the law applies, he did not say he would fight it. He did not say he would move the school to a different state. He did not say he would refund a single dollar to the community that donated based on a vision the law cannot support. He said this: we can make it hard like they do for us. That is his plan. Not a legal challenge, not a relocation, not a refund. A deliberately difficult admissions process designed to discourage white applicants in a state that legally prohibits race-based exclusion.
And you know what, though? That's typically how the bullshit goes. You feel me?
And I need you to understand what that statement actually is. Delaware law does not have a "but we will make it inconvenient" exception. The law prohibits discriminatory admission practices regardless of whether the school receives government funding. Making it hard for white applicants on purpose is not a workaround.
I'm not a smart man.
It is a documented violation of the same law he just admitted applies to him. That statement is already public record. The certificate of occupancy has not been issued. The approval process is not complete. If anyone from the city of Wilmington or the Delaware Department of Education pulls that episode,
I hope so.
That statement is not a joke. It is not a metaphor. It is the school administrator's stated admissions policy on a public recording. He did not just admit the law applies. He announced his plan to break it.
A term of 2 years on that count.
Which means the only question left is when he decided to. So let us talk about the choice. Because Dr. Umar Johnson did not have to choose Delaware. That decision was his alone. The community did not vote on it. The donors did not pick it. He selected the state, announced it publicly, and started fundraising for a building in a state where the school he was selling cannot legally exist. Great plan.
Oh, magic.
And he has owned that building since 2019. 2019, that is 7 years ago. 7 years of fundraising in Delaware. 7 years of Breakfast Club appearances about a school in Delaware. 7 years of PayPal links for a building in Delaware. 7 years of chosen ones being selected for a school in Delaware that cannot legally exclude anyone on the basis of race. Now, here's what that means for every dollar that came in after 2019. Every donor who sent money after he purchased that building donated to a vision the chosen state cannot legally support. Not because of the city, not because of the contractors, not because of the struggle streamers, because of the state he picked off a map and purchased a building in with the community's money, and he kept fundraising anyway. The Breakfast Club appearances kept coming. The PayPal links kept running. The chosen one's language kept working.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
The donation drives kept running, and the building in the state that cannot legally support the school kept sitting there waiting for a certificate of occupancy. He did not stumble into this problem. He walked into it in 2019 with the community's money and has been asking for more ever since. The choice was his. The consequences belong to everyone who donated. Now, let us talk about what the community actually paid for. Because when Dr. Umar stood in the Breakfast Club chairs in 2021 and told Charlemagne the school was 3 weeks away from opening, he described it as an independent Pan-African institution for Black boys.
We have two schools, right? They look across the street at one another. The Marcus Garvey building is the elementary school, and the Frederick Douglass building is much larger. It's the high school. Now, we're focusing on the Garvey building right now, right? If you were to say, how soon can that building be ready? It can be ready in 3 weeks.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
If you were to say, how soon can that building be ready? It can be ready in 3 weeks.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric.
You know what's so crazy? He has not applied for a permit for any of these so-called renovations to be done. And a general permit, anywhere between 36 to 55 bucks. Why do we not see any permits online? Because you can't have any work done to this bando without a permit. And this is coming from the clown that doesn't even get contracts secured with vendors. So who knows who's in there? Doing anything, just rigging stuff up, taping stuff down as opposed to nailing it. Everything's gonna be more like a hoodwink repair. All the pipes gonna be taped up with black tape. Y'all, the light fixtures is gonna be held up to the ceiling with plastic strings. It's gonna be something else. He's claiming that all the work that needs to be done on these bandos that have been sitting vacant since 2019 would only take 3 weeks to get it up to par running and able to pass inspection. Now do you all see why he's trying to get ahead of that whole narrative about the inspection? By defaming the inspector, because it's defamatory. He's lying like hell. And all the statements he's making against the inspector can be provably false. So he's defaming the inspector that he talked to 2-3 years ago by trying to paint this picture like if we don't get this certificate of occupancy, it's the inspector's fault. Nope, Umar, that's not going to work. Not going to work. I told you, you dumb Oompa Loompa, that I will help fundraise for that inspector to pay for an attorney to sue the shit out of your butt, boy. If anything happens to that inspector because of you and your incompetency and your laziness and your dumbass scam, and then get all kinds of other content creators to help set up, save GoFunds and all the stuff we need to do to help raise money for this man to get an attorney. Because you're attacking him online and defaming him. Keep on. These morons of the pull-up squad and the Uguni goons don't think they can ever go to jail. Oh, okay. All because their dumbass cult leader is incompetent and he's been sitting on 2 bandos that he never bought. That he refuses to get a team to help him open up and become schools. And when he was offered the assistance for free, Jamar was willing to connect him with people for free. He didn't want it. And he has said that in an entire video that can be used against him in a court of law. Your Honor, Exhibit A, when the Oompa Loompa was offered services by the Jamar young man in an interview on his podcast, he said that he already had that, he didn't need it, and he just needed money, Your Honor. So the defendant is a moron who turned down free help and now wants to deceive the public even the more by saying it'll only take 3 weeks to get everything done to this bando. Never mind the black mold. Never mind that. No treatment on the building at all for the black mold thing. Okay. So he knows he's not going to pass inspection. He's already trying to make it seem like it's the inspector's fault. And of course, the only way he knows how to do it is by defamation. You know, and cyberbullying and harassment, cyber crimes that he could be held legally liable for. Hopefully the inspector sues the crap out of him and we can all enjoy that.
3 weeks worth of plumbing. You're showing me how unserious you are.
Not for black boys and white boys, not for whoever applies, for black boys. That is what was sold. That is what the PayPal link was for. That is what the chosen one's language was about. And he has raised millions of dollars on that specific vision. Not on a school that legally must consider all applicants regardless of race. On a school for black boys. In a state where that school cannot legally exist as described. The chosen ones cannot be legally chosen in Delaware. Think about what that means for the parent who donated because they believed their son had a shot at being selected. Think about what it means for the community member who sent money because they believed in the specific vision of an independent black institution that could control its own admissions. They were not donating to a school that has to consider white applicants. They were donating to a school that specifically promised it would not. That promise cannot be legally kept in the state he chose. It could not be kept the day he purchased the building. It could not be kept on any of the days he stood in the Breakfast Club chairs and asked for more.
That's a damn shame. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
The vision that raised the money and the legal reality of the building that money bought have never been the same thing. And the community that donated deserved to know that before the first dollar ever moved. Now step back for a second, because if you have been watching this channel, you already know that this is not the first time the foundation of the FDMG pitch has collapsed from inside his own story. His doctoral credential was dismantled by a government hearing he attended himself. He walked into that Harrisburg courtroom in January 2018 and defended himself by arguing he never claimed to be a licensed psychologist. His own testimony dismantled the credential. His bloodline claim was dismantled by his own family's DNA. The Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives issued a public statement in April 2016, 100% certainty, not a descendant. His own father's DNA test confirmed it. And now the school itself has been dismantled by his own podcast admission. The building cannot legally operate as the school it was sold as, in the state he chose, with the money the community donated.
We have a problem. We have a problem.
3 receipts, 3 foundations of the FDMG pitch. All of them collapsed from inside his own story, not from critics, not from struggle streamers, not from the white establishment he keeps pointing at, from a government hearing he attended, from a family statement about his own bloodline, from a podcast appearance he chose to do. Every single time the receipt comes from inside his own narrative. Every single time he provided the evidence that dismantled his own argument. And every single time the community kept donating. That is not bad luck. That is not a pattern of setbacks. That is not a series of mistakes. That is a series of choices. And the only question worth asking now is what the community decides to do with that information.
What do you think?
All right, stop for a second, because I want you to go back through everything we just covered and ask one question. Not about Dr. Umar, about us. The credential was fake. His own government hearing proved it. The bloodline was fake. His own family's DNA proved it. And now the school cannot legally be what it was sold as. His own podcast admission proved it. 3 pillars, 3 receipts, all from inside his own story. And across all 3 of those moments, the community kept donating, not because they were foolish, not because they did not care, but because every time a receipt surfaced, he reframed it as an attack. The board was jealous. The family was compromised. The law was the white man's tool. And here's the thing about that playbook. It works. Not because people are gullible, but because when someone has spent years wrapping themselves in the symbols of black liberation, asking for documentation starts to feel like betrayal. That is the mechanism. That is how 13 years happened. But this receipt is different from every other one that came before it, because you cannot call Delaware law a conspiracy. You cannot call his own podcast admission a hit job. You cannot call the words that came out of his own mouth on his own platform a coordinated attack from the white establishment. He said it on purpose to an audience of supporters. And what he said was not just that the law applies. What he said was that his plan was to make it hard for white applicants the way they make it hard for us. Think about what that sentence reveals about the 13 years before it. He has always known the law applied. He chose Delaware anyway. He kept fundraising anyway. He kept describing the school as exclusively for black boys anyway. And his plan was never to solve the legal problem. His plan was to make it inconvenient and hope nobody noticed.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
That is not a man who made a mistake about which state to build in. That is a man who made a calculation, and the community's money funded that calculation for 13 years. This is not a story about Dr. Umar failing to build.
I'm so glad you said this right here, Francisco. He thinks that people are stupid. What's worse is that for those who know what he's doing, he gets upset when we call his ass out on it. And that is what he's trained his dumb cult to do. That's why they keep going after Panda Press for covering the Oompa Loompa and exposing him. How dare you expose our cult leader? Oh no. Why are you talking about him? Because he has the right to. These are morons that don't care about our laws. They think they're sovereign citizens or Moorish or whatever. You know, things that don't work in court, in a court of law. These people will go out, commit crimes, go to court, and claim to be sovereign and not bound by our U.S. laws, but they want our U.S. dollar. Y'all see, now y'all understand why I keep saying, stop giving Umar U.S. dollars. Give his ass payments in the form of cabbage. Yeah, see him like 3 packs of cucumbers and a jar of pickles. Tell him, you know, compensation to help you get this bando open. You see how he start feeling when the money starts coming in the form of vegetables. It's like, can y'all believe this? Somebody sent me a box of tomatoes and some potatoes. What am I doing with that? That's your donation. They want our U.S. dollars, but they don't want to follow our U.S. laws. They don't want to be held against compliance and regulations here, not just on a federal level, but even on the state level. He didn't buy the bendos. That's why it really doesn't matter where he was, whether it's Delaware, Pennsylvania, or Florida. It doesn't matter. K-12 purchased the bandos. K-12, now known as Stride Inc., they purchased the bandos. So where these bandos were purchased is irrelevant. He did not fork up the money. And he has not provided evidence that he has repaid Stride Inc. K-12 for purchasing those bandos. I'm still waiting for the receipts on that. So until I see evidence that he has repaid K-12 management for them purchasing the bandos, he has not spent a dime or a coin. So it's of no consequence to him that the bandos are purchased in a specific state. Now, perhaps he went to Delaware because he thought that the taxes would be cheaper. But yet again, he expects a waiver for the vacant property registration fees because he was once upon a time registered as a 501c3. Now, will he still be subjected to this, you know, or be eligible for the waiver as a 501c4? I don't know. But as a 501c3, he was eligible to get a waiver for those vacant property registration fees. Guess where the money comes from to grant him that waiver? Tax dollars. From a government entity. Can you believe it? State government funding covered the cost for him to get a waiver. And he got upset with the city because they didn't submit documents on his behalf, as if they're supposed to do that for him. They don't owe him shit. This is one of Umar's issues, that he's so entitled and he thinks he's above reproach to where he believes that the city is supposed to help fill out documents on his behalf for him and his non-existent school and 2 bandos riddled with black mold to have to do some documents for a waiver to be granted for vacant property registration fees. He believes the city is supposed to do that for him automatically, like they owe him that, like they work for him. But his code members aren't smart enough to fill out the forms for him. Go figure. Where are all my Umar Tardians at? What is Shango Stick Africans at? Why they didn't fill out these documents again? So y'all didn't fill out these documents for your cult leader. But you're mad at the city for not doing it for him? They don't owe him that. They don't work for him. That's not their job. Their job is to ensure that it's completed and process it. That's it. He expects them to fill the stuff out. Well, all these low self-esteem women at when he needs these documents filled out. So is it writing that they're having a problem with along with reading? Because reading is not fundamental to the Umar Tardians at all. Cult members don't read. They just do whatever their cult leader says. But he wanted a government to give him a waiver while he still lies about not getting government assistance. Make it make sense. The waiver is government assistance. But he's not going to ever paint it that way or tell the truth. And now he thinks I can open up a school, discriminate, and violate federal laws on it. Never mind U.S. Supreme Court rulings or precedents. And then it's strictly going to be for black boys. And I'm going to tell these kids, no bunnies never, black queens forever. Wop, wop, wop. While I disrespect their moms in the parent lounge. Because, he wants a whole parent lounge just for the parents. Forget the teachers and the staff. He don't care about them. Now I'm going to have a parent lounge to spank the mamas in the parent lounge. While I'm supposed to be teaching their kids history. He's so stupid. The only thing he has achieved is getting away with running a scam for 14 years, raising money on a non-existent school, and guiding his cult to not reading a damn thing, period, or asking questions, or filing lawsuits. But they expect everybody else to do stuff for him. No, tell the Umar Tardians to fill out those documents to get that government waiver. Because reasons why you still lie about not getting government assistance. That's so crazy. I'm glad you brought this up. He thinks we're stupid. No. Your cult is stupid. But he doesn't care what they think. I want y'all to remember that. Cult leaders don't care. They're narcissists. They don't care what their members think. They just expect their cult members to believe everything they say. And if they try to challenge him, he blocks them. And he doesn't even ask, hey, how long have you donated to me? Are you a lifelong supporter? How does this go? No, you say something he doesn't like, he's going to block you off Instagram forever. It's that fear of that disconnect. They are fearful of being disconnected from their cult leader over anything else. Never mind him violating federal laws. Never mind him failing to adhere to regulations according to tax laws for a 501c4. Y'all don't care about that. They fear being disconnected and blocked on Instagram. That's what we're dealing with. That's how simple they are. So whether he thinks we're stupid or not is irrelevant. No. He knows his cult has this undying loyalty and fealty to him. So he's going to tell them whatever, and they're just going to, yes, master, we believe you. The rest of us, he expects us to call him out on it. That's why he calls us struggle streamers. He knows that we're going to say something. He doesn't give a damn. The only thing that works at this point is when a judge in a court of law tells him, now, I need you to jump, and don't ask me how high, just jump and keep jumping until I tell your ass to sit down. That's what it's going to take to get Umar's attention. A judge in a court of law. No one should care about how the Umar Tardians feel either. They're irrelevant. They don't pay your bills. So if you're donors and you really want to get Umar to be held accountable, you're going to have to sue him. And if his Umar Tardians want to get out of line, sue their asses as well. That's it. It's that simple. Add them to the lawsuit. You interfere with my ability to exercise my right to sue, I'll list you as a co-defendant and I will sleep peacefully. That's all you got to say. Because, they're incompetent, remember? They don't read shit. They don't understand how laws work or attorneys or anything. They just do what their cult leader tells them to do. Oh, and they break laws by trying to dox people. But you take them to court, then they have to give up their personal information. So it doesn't work out for them. But he expects them to be blind, brainwashed, and loyal. He doesn't expect them to understand when they're being stupid or anything. So he doesn't care. Umar just says whatever. He doesn't care. And you got to keep that in mind. That's how cult leaders operate. They don't care about their own subjects. Y'all, we've seen enough episodes from Nature Boy to see this man slapped around his own cult members on live streams and then got mad when it was shown as evidence in a court of law on his treatment towards his own cult members. You think Umar cares about disrespecting his own cult members? No. He doesn't care. So, whether he thinks that we're stupid, child, he knows his cult is dumb enough to believe whatever he says, and they're going to keep doing it. But you start converting those US dollars over to carrots and cucumbers and beets and rutabaga, send him food items instead of vegetables and applesauce, like cans of applesauce. Like, I'm not sending you no money, but I'll send you some applesauce. You want donations from me? No, I'm not hitting your Cash App or your PayPal, but I will send you a couple packs of applesauce and some fruit cups. You know, Malware said you're on a diet. I'll send you a case of bottled water. Yeah, see how that goes. Good luck to that. Stop giving him money. That's the only way this is going to work. You got to stop giving him his money. Give him that money. Send his ass some steamed cabbage and keep living.
Build a school. That framing lets him off too easy. Failure implies he was trying and fell short. The school was never the product. The belief in the school was the product. And that product has been generating revenue for 13 years without delivering a single classroom to a single black boy. The question is not whether Dr. Umar knew. We just established that he did. The question is what the community decides to require from the next person who shows up with a credential and a bloodline and a vision and a PayPal link. Every receipt in this video came from his own mouth. The tile detail, the law admission, the workaround plan, all of it on his own podcast to his own supporters. He knew the law applied when he chose Delaware. He knew it when he purchased the building. He knew it when he stood in the Breakfast Club chairs and asked the community to keep sending money for a vision the state he chose cannot legally support. He knew, and now you do too. So the question I want to leave you with is simple. If the credential was fake and the bloodline was fake, and the school cannot legally be what it was sold as, what exactly has the community been investing in for 13 years? They have been investing in the idea of the school, not the school itself. In case you missed the last video, here it is. Click now, and I'll see you there. And out.
Oh, y'all, that's the end of it. That was fantastic. I appreciate all of you all tuning in. Shout out to Panda Press. He did a great job as always. And I am so glad I was able to catch up on his videos because I think it sums up very well all the research and information that many of us may have known about, even just listening to each other and other podcasters, Lynn and Honor, especially with his series and stuff. But it's refreshing to get a new spin on it and to see, you know, these videos being laid out so well done. Oh my goodness. Well done, Panda Press. So I appreciate you all so much. I have another live to get to. And then tonight, we're going to be going live on Later Luck Club with Sweet Tea only. Checking out Rem's videos he did regarding this whole check thing and malware and these clowns. Yeah, until they admit they lied and they were wrong about filing these false copyright strikes. We're going to keep our foot on necks of liars. I just don't like liars. And then they throw a tantrum and do dumb shit like this and violate and misabuse laws because you called them out. Yeah, okay. we'll just keep doing that. I mean, we, until you recognize that this was not the way to go. And I'm gonna have fun doing it. I sure am. Chabu, thank y'all so much. Y'all hit that like button. I appreciate all the supers up in here. This is a load of fun. Panda Press, mama love you, honey. And I appreciate all of you all, to all my mods here. I want to make sure I got in all of the... Oh, we got one last super from Enterprise Entertainment. Black tape equals black mold. Charlemagne is a goof. Thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that thinks of Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club and Mark Lamont here. All them goofies are dumbasses and simps. Grown men being simps for another grown man is disturbing to me. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up with that. I'm not used to that at all. I'm used to real men being real men and being able to tell another person you're wrong. They just keep simping for him, and it's so stupid. Charlemagne will not send his kids to FDMG. So I don't know why he feels like he got to pacify Umar's overgrown big ass for no reason. Child. Y'all tune into the next live if you can. Candice, we got some protection orders to go over. If not, I will see you all in the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea later on this evening. Thank you so much, and hit the like button on the way out. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out.